It is the first great act of your life, and it will be the last. Before your eyes ever opened to the light of this world, you drew in the universe, and in that single, sacred inhalation, your story began. And when the final chapter is written, you will release that same universe back into the great expanse, and your story will merge once more with eternity. This is the breath, the Alpha and the Omega, the silent, rhythmic companion to your every joy, your every sorrow, your every moment of quiet contemplation. It is so constant, so intimate, that it has become invisible, a forgotten miracle happening within you, right now. But what if this simple rhythm, this gentle rise and fall within your chest, was not merely a function of the body, but the very language of life itself? What if within the simple, automatic act of breathing lay the key to unlocking profound regeneration within your cells, to stilling the chaotic storms of the mind, and to remembering your direct, unbreakable connection to the source of all that is? What if you could learn to listen to it, not with your ears, but with your entire being? The ancient sages and mystics understood this. They saw that we are not merely breathing air, we are breathing life itself. They felt a subtle, pervasive energy in every inhalation, a vital force that animates the stars, the trees, and the very blood in our veins. They gave this energy a name. They called it Prana. It is the electricity of aliveness, the unseen current flowing through all of existence, and your breath is the primary gateway through which you draw this cosmic nourishment into your temple. This journey we are about to take together is not one of learning, but of profound remembering. It is an invitation to turn your awareness inward, away from the noise of the world and toward the subtle symphony playing out within you. We will not be adding new information to your mind, but rather, we will be peeling away the layers of forgetting that have shrouded a truth you have always known in your bones, in your blood, in the quiet wisdom of your heart. The truth that you hold the power to heal, to transform, and to create, and that this power begins with the simple, sacred act of your own breath. So find a place of stillness. Allow your eyes to gently close, and for the first time, perhaps, truly arrive in this moment. All that is required of you is to listen and to breathe. Let your awareness now settle entirely on the sensation of breathing, this rhythm that has been with you since your first moment. Feel the air as it enters your nostrils. Notice its temperature, a coolness that carries the signature of the world outside. Follow this stream of life as it travels down through the passages of your throat, a gentle cascade into the vast, quiet space of your lungs. There is no need to change anything, no need to force a deeper breath or a slower release. Simply become the silent, curious observer of a miracle that you have performed billions of times, yet have rarely witnessed. Feel the gentle, steady expansion of your chest, the soft rise of your abdomen as your body makes room for this gift of life, and then the release. The slow, effortless letting go as the air begins its journey back out into the world, carrying with it that which is no longer needed. This is the simple, physical truth of your existence in this moment. A receiving and a releasing, an expansion and a contraction, the most fundamental rhythm of your being. But now, let us go deeper. Let us invite the mind to perceive this act not merely as a biological function, but as a spiritual event of immense significance. Consider for a moment that the air around you, the space that seems empty between you and the walls of the room, is not empty at all. Imagine it is a vast, limitless ocean of pure, intelligent energy. It is an ocean that has no shores, an ocean that is both infinitely ancient and continuously born in this very now. This is the ocean of Prana, the unseen, unheard, yet ever-present substance of all creation. It is the subtle electricity that sparks a new galaxy into being, and the gentle force that nudges a seed to break through the dark earth. This ocean is pure potential, pure awareness, pure life. It holds the memory of every sun that has ever shone, and the whisper of every prayer that has ever been uttered. When you breathe, you are not simply drawing in a mixture of gases. You are dipping a vessel into this conscious, living ocean and drawing its essence into the very core of your being. This is the same energetic sea that filled the lungs of the first human to ever walk the earth, the same vibrant substance that rustled the leaves of the Bodhi tree as the Buddha sat in meditation. It is the same life force that Plato and Rumi and every saint and sage you have ever heard of breathed in to fuel their insights and their love for the world. Your inhalation is a direct communion with this timeless universal source. You are, in this very moment, breathing in the history and the future of the cosmos. Feel this now. As you inhale, imagine this luminous, intelligent energy flowing into you, not just as air, but as a fine golden light, a liquid vitality that is far more than mere oxygen. It is the substance of life itself. See your body now, not as a solid, separate object, but as a sacred bay, a coastal inlet connected to this infinite ocean. Your skin is not a barrier, but a shoreline, where the world of energy and the world of form meet. With every inhalation, the tide of this great pranic ocean flows into your bay. Feel it. Feel this nourishing tide as it swirls past your lips and nostrils, flooding the deep harbors of your lungs. From there, it seeps into the bloodstream, 1,000 glowing rivers carrying this life force to every single part of your being. Imagine this tide of light reaching the tips of your toes, the ends of your fingers, the roots of your hair. Every single one of your 70 trillion cells is a tiny, thirsty creature living on the shores of this bay, and with every breath you take, you are feeding them, bathing them in pure, unblemished life. This is not a metaphor. This is the subtle reality. You are nourishing yourself with the very stuff of the stars. This incoming tide awakens what is dormant, revitalizes what is tired, and reminds every cell of its original blueprint of perfect health and vibrant aliveness. It is a baptism happening over and over again with every single breath you take. And then there is the exhalation, the ebb tide. As you breathe out, this tide of prana recedes from your shores, pulling with it everything that has served its purpose. Imagine the water flowing back out from your bay into the infinite ocean, carrying with it the fine silt and debris of your inner world. Every particle of physical tension stored in the muscles of your shoulders and jaw, it is being gently lifted and carried away. Every residue of a stale emotion, a lingering anxiety, or a heavy thought, it is dissolved into the current and drawn out. The out-breath is an act of profound purification. It is a letting go not just of carbon dioxide, but of the energetic weight of your past. Do not push it out. Simply allow it to leave. Trust the wisdom of this cosmic tide. The ocean knows how to cleanse. It asks only that you allow its rhythm to move through you without resistance. Inhale life, vitality, possibility. Exhale surrender, release, relief. Feel the exchange. You are a living gateway between the visible and the invisible, a place where the universe comes to purify and renew itself. Stay with this awareness for a few moments longer. Feel the continuous, effortless cycle, the nourishing flood tide of the in-breath, the cleansing ebb tide of the out-breath. Notice how this changes your perception of yourself. You are not a static entity, but a process, a flow. The boundary between you and the universe begins to soften, to dissolve. The idea of my breath starts to feel inaccurate. It was never yours to begin with. You do not create it, and you cannot hoard it. You can only receive it, and you must release it. You are a sacred vessel through which the universe breathes itself into expression. The feeling of separation, the heavy weight of the ego that insists on being me, begins to lighten when you realize you are not the one doing the breathing. You are the one being breathed. Life is breathing through you. The entire ocean is moving through your small bay, and in doing so it reminds you that you are not just the bay. You are the entire ocean, experiencing itself in this specific, beautiful form. This continuous flow, this forgotten ocean within, is the foundation of our journey. To recognize it, to feel it, is the first great step toward remembering who you are. We have felt the tide as it comes in, and we have felt the tide as it goes out. But there is another mystery hidden within this rhythm, a secret held in the space between the two. There is a moment, a sacred pause, when the tide has fully entered and has not yet begun to recede. And there is another, when the waters have fully retreated, just before they are drawn in again. In these moments of perfect stillness, the entire ocean holds its breath. And in that stillness, a new world of perception awaits. This is where we will travel to next. We have felt the great ocean of Prana, the cosmic tide that flows into the bay of your being and recedes back into infinity. We have become aware of this grand, rhythmic exchange that sustains us. But now, we are invited to explore a deeper mystery, a secret hidden in plain sight within this very rhythm. Our attention is so often captured by the movement, by the drama of the rising and the falling, that we completely overlook the most profound moments of all, the moments when the movement ceases. Let your awareness now drift with exquisite gentleness to the very peak of your next inhalation. Travel with the breath all the way to its summit, the point where the lungs are comfortably full, and notice what happens there. There is a pause, a moment, however fleeting, of perfect equilibrium before the tide turns and begins its journey outward. Do not force it. Do not hold the breath. Simply arrive there. Rest in that moment of fullness. This is our first destination. This space at the top of the breath is a world unto itself. It is a high plateau of pure potential. Think of the in-breath as a slow, steady climb up a sacred mountain. With every intake of air, you ascend. And when you reach the top, you are granted a moment of supreme stillness. From this summit, you can look back at the path you have just traveled, the valley of the past you have just left behind. And you can gaze ahead at the downward slope you are about to descend, the valley of the future. But here, at the peak, you are in neither. You are suspended in a timeless, eternal now. For one perfect instant, there is no striving, no becoming, no momentum pulling you forward or backward. There is only being. The mind, which thrives on activity and the constant chatter of past and future, finds no purchase here. It is too still, too silent. It becomes quiet, not because it is forced to, but because in this high, rarefied atmosphere of pure presence, thought simply cannot survive. This stillness is not an emptiness. It is a fullness. It is the silence of a seed just before it bursts with life. It is the tension on a string of a master's bow, held for a heartbeat before the note is released into the world. All the power of the universe, all the potential of creation, is held in this pregnant pause. This is the 0 point, the divine intersection, where spirit has fully entered matter and has not yet begun to retreat. In this space, you are utterly and completely present. You are pure awareness. There are no problems to be solved here, no regrets to be replayed, no anxieties to be entertained. There is only the profound, silent hum of existence itself. Allow yourself to notice it, to inhabit it, even if it is only for a second. To recognize this peak of stillness is to touch the face of God, to experience the undivided nature of your own consciousness. It is a moment of pure power, the power of being, not doing. Now, let us travel to the other side of the valley. Follow the breath as it descends, the long, slow, gentle release of the exhalation. Follow it all the way down to the very end of its journey. And once again, notice, at the very bottom of the out-breath, after all the air has been given back to the world, there is another pause. There is another moment of stillness before the body feels the natural impulse to draw life in again. This is our second destination, a stillness with a different quality, a different texture, a different wisdom. Rest here. Inhabit this space of comfortable emptiness. There is nothing to do, nowhere to go. This stillness is not the fullness of potential, but the profound peace of surrender. If the peak was a moment of divine power, This valley is a moment of divine trust. You have let it all go. You have emptied yourself completely. You have given back the gift of life that you received, holding nothing back for yourself. And in this moment of perfect release, you are suspended in faith. Faith that the next breath will come. Faith that the ocean will send its tide to your shores once more. You do not command it. You do not demand it. You simply wait, in a state of serene, open receptivity. Here, in this gentle void, the grip of the ego is at its very weakest. The ego is the part of you that needs to control, to possess, to hold on. But in this space of complete exhalation, there is nothing to hold on to. You are empty. And in this sacred emptiness, you discover a freedom that is impossible when you are full of yourself. It is the freedom of dissolution, the joy of merging back into the whole. It is a taste of egolessness, a reminder that your true nature is not the solid, separate self you believe you are, but the open, limitless space in which that self appears and disappears. These 2 points of stillness, the peak of fullness and the valley of emptiness, are the 2 secret doorways into the same sacred room. That room is the timeless present moment. Our entire life of suffering is spent rushing between these 2 doors, endlessly cycling through the past and the future, completely unaware that the kingdom of heaven lies in the stillness we so carelessly hurry through. We believe that life is the motion, the breathing in and the breathing out. But the truth is, life is the silence from which the breath arises and to which it returns. The breath is simply the evidence of that silent, living intelligence. Your only task is to notice these doorways. You do not need to pry them open. You do not need to make the pauses longer. The mind will want to do that. It will want to turn this into another exercise, another goal to achieve. Let that desire go. The only instruction is to witness. Your gentle, non-judgmental awareness is the key that fits the lock. Simply by noticing the stillness, you activate it. You give it substance. And as you become more comfortable resting in these silent moments, you will find that they naturally begin to expand. The space between your thoughts will grow wider. The frantic energy of the mind will begin to settle, like dust falling in a silent room. And where is this all taking place? Where is this sacred mountain summit? Where is this peaceful valley of surrender? Look closely. This profound stillness, this silence that is deeper than all sound, this peace that passes all understanding, it is not happening in some distant galaxy or some abstract dimension. It is happening within you. It is happening within the confines of your own skin. This body, this form that you inhabit, is the very container for this divine silence. The stillness you are touching is not separate from you. It fills you. It saturates every cell. It consecrates the very ground of your being. Realize this now. The space that can contain such a profound and holy stillness cannot be a mere machine of flesh and bone, driven by chemical reactions. It must be something more. It must be a vessel worthy of the divine. It must be a temple. That sacred stillness we have just touched, that silent, peaceful space between 2 worlds, is not a distant star you must wish upon. It is here. It is now. It is housed within you. And so, we must ask the question, what is this magnificent vessel that can contain such a holy silence? What is this form, this architecture of flesh and bone that serves as the dwelling place for the infinite? For too long, we have been taught to see it as a machine, a biological vehicle to carry our minds around. We have treated it as a workhorse, pushing it to its limits, criticizing its appearance, ignoring its whispers until they become screams of pain. We use the language of separation, the language of ownership. We say my body, as if it were a possession, an object separate from our true self, the I that lives somewhere behind the eyes. Today we are invited to let go of this profound misunderstanding. We are invited to see, perhaps for the first time, that this body is not a machine. It is a temple. Let this idea land. A temple, not built of stone or wood, but of living, intelligent cells, a self-healing, self-regulating sanctuary that houses the flame of your consciousness. To understand this, we must gently set aside a lifetime of conditioning. Release the judgments you have held against your body, the criticisms you have learned from the world, the shame you may have been taught to feel. Let it all fall away. See your body now not through the harsh lens of the mirror or the cold data of the weighing scale, but with the soft, curious eyes of a pilgrim entering a holy place for the first time. Feel the sheer miracle of it, the incomprehensible intelligence that is, in this very moment, beating your heart without your command, digesting your food without your instruction, and healing a wound without your conscious intervention. The same intelligence that orchestrates the dance of galaxies and the unfurling of a fern's frond is the intelligence that animates you. You are not separate from that intelligence. You are its expression. Let us walk through the halls of this temple together. Imagine for a moment that every one of the trillions of cells that make up your form is a single, glowing brick, humming with a quiet light. Each cell a point of conscious energy, a tiny universe of its own, yet working in perfect harmony with all the others to create the grand cathedral that is you. Feel this inner luminescence. This is not a poetic flight of fancy, it is a subtle truth. Your body is composed of light, of energy, condensed into this beautiful temporary form. Consider the architecture. Your bones are the sacred geometry of this temple, the strong, silent pillars and arches that give it structure and resilience, allowing you to stand tall in the world. Your muscles are the sacred tapestries, woven with intricate threads of strength and flexibility, allowing for the dance of movement, the expression of grace. Your nervous system is the intricate network of golden wiring, carrying messages of light and sensation from the outer courtyards to the inner sanctum, allowing the temple to feel, to learn, to experience. And your blood, the holy river flowing through every chamber and corridor, carrying the vital prana, the very essence of life, to every single glowing brick, ensuring the entire structure remains vibrant and alive. This is not biology. This is sacred art, the greatest masterpiece you will ever encounter. And what is the role of the breath in this holy place? Your conscious breath is the devoted caretaker of this temple. It is the silent monk who walks the halls at dawn and dusk. With every conscious inhalation, you are opening the great doors of the temple, allowing the fresh, pure light of the universe, the vital prana, to flood into every room, cleansing the air, illuminating the shadows. With every conscious exhalation, you are performing a gentle, sacred sweeping. You are clearing away the dust of yesterday's worries, the energetic debris left behind by fear or fatigue. To breathe with awareness is an act of continuous reverence. It is the polishing of the temple floors, the lighting of the altar candles, the tending of the sacred flame. It is how you honor the divine space that you are. It is the simple, powerful practice that says, I am here, I am present, and I honor this sacred ground. This realization invites a profound shift in consciousness, a movement from a state of having to a state of being. You do not have a body. You are a body. You are not a ghost living inside a machine. You are a unified field of intelligent, conscious energy that has taken on this physical form. The separation you have always felt between you and your body is an illusion created by the thinking mind. When you let this illusion go, your entire experience of life begins to change. Pain is no longer just a malfunction to be silenced with a pill. It becomes a message from the temple, a request for attention, for rest, for a change, of course. Pleasure is no longer a fleeting sensation to be chased. It is the temple singing, a celebration of its own aliveness. Hunger is the call to prayer, the request for sacred nourishment. Tiredness is the invitation to enter the chapel of sleep and allow the divine architect to perform its nightly repairs. To live in this way is to be in constant, loving dialogue with your own being. It means listening with a deep, inner sensitivity to the subtle cues and rhythms of your temple. When you move with reverence for the sacred tapestries of your muscles. When you eat, you choose foods that will honor and nourish the temple, rather than desecrate it with poison. When you rest, you do so without guilt, knowing that in stillness, the deepest work of restoration is done. This is not a new set of rules to follow. It is a new relationship to cultivate. A relationship of profound friendship, of deep intimacy, of unconditional love for the physical form that is your one and only true home in this lifetime. It is your anchor in the present moment, your instrument for experiencing the world, your direct, tangible connection to the mystery of existence. But we must be honest. Most of us have not treated our bodies as temples. We have allowed our sacred spaces to become cluttered. We have allowed the sorrows of the past and the anxieties for the future to take up residence within its walls, like squatters in a holy place. Over the years, we have built layers of armor around our hearts. We have stored unspoken grief in our chests. We have allowed the chronic tension of fear to solidify in our shoulders and our necks. These are not just physical ailments. They are energetic desecrations. They are the dust and cobwebs that dim the temple's inner light, that block the flow of the holy river, that make the sacred halls feel cold and unsafe. Now that we have reawakened to the sanctity of this space, now that we see it with eyes of love and reverence, our next task becomes clear. We are called to begin the gentle, compassionate work of cleansing. We are called to dissolve this armor, to sweep away the ghosts, and to wash the walls of this temple with the healing waters of our own loving attention. We stand now as the loving custodians of a sacred space, our own body, newly recognized as a living temple. We have acknowledged its beauty, its intelligence, its divinity. And with this new clarity, with these eyes of reverence, we also see the dust of ages, the shadows in the corners, the places where the light has been dimmed by the hardships of our journey. For years, perhaps a lifetime, this temple has endured assault, not just from the outside world, but from our own inner storms. Every fear we have faced, every word we have left unspoken, every grief we have swallowed, every burden we have shouldered has left an energetic residue, a physical imprint within these sacred walls. This is the armor of tension, a heavy, invisible suit forged from the frozen energy of past pain, worn in a noble subconscious effort to protect the tender heart within. We must see it not as a flaw, but as a testament to what we have survived. It is the body's loving attempt to shield us. But this armor, once a necessary defense, has now become a prison. It restricts our breath, limits our joy, and disconnects us from the vibrant, flowing river of life force. Today, we begin the gentle work of laying this armor down. We will not pry it off with force, for it is fused to our very being. We will not shatter it with aggression, for that would only create more trauma. Instead, we will melt it. We will dissolve it with the most powerful and compassionate solvent in the universe, our own warm, conscious breath. Imagine a window pane on a cold winter's morning, covered in a thick, intricate frost. You would not take a hammer to the glass. You would simply bring a source of gentle warmth near and allow the ice to return to its true nature, to become water once again. Your breath, infused with loving intention, is this warmth. It is the sunbeam that can melt the oldest, most stubborn ice within you. This process requires no effort, no struggle. It asks only for your patient, loving attention. It is an act of supreme kindness to yourself. Let us begin this gentle melting. Bring your awareness now to your jaw, your mouth, your throat, without judgment. Simply notice what is here. Is there a subtle clenching, a tightness around the hinges of the jaw? This area is the repository of 1,000 unspoken words, the graveyard of countless swallowed frustrations and unheard protests. For years, it has held on, creating a dam that blocks the flow of authentic expression. Do not try to force it open. Simply bring the warmth of your attention here. And now imagine that you can breathe directly into your jaw. Inhale a soft, golden wave of liquid light and feel it flooding the entire area, seeping into every tight muscle fiber, every tense ligament. This breath says, I am here. I am listening. It is safe to let go. And as you exhale, imagine the ice beginning to melt. Feel a subtle release, a gentle sigh of relief from the muscles. Imagine the unspoken words dissolving into energy and flowing out with the breath. With every cycle, you are inviting a little more softness, a little more space. Inhaling warmth, exhaling release. Now, allow your awareness to drift up to your face, your eyes, the space between your eyebrows. This is where we hold the tension of concentration, of worry, of trying to figure everything out. It is the command center where we strain to control the uncontrollable. Gently bring the warm breath to this space. Inhale into your forehead, and as you exhale, feel the muscles smoothing out. Feel the furrows of worry being gently erased. Imagine the intense focus dissolving into a soft, open gaze, a gaze that is willing to see the world with curiosity rather than with the strain of analysis. Let your eyes rest softly in their sockets. Let your entire face soften, as if it were a mask of clay being warmed by a gentle sun, returning to a state of serene repose. Let this wave of warmth now flow down into your neck and your shoulders. This is perhaps the heaviest part of the armor. Here, we carry the weight of the world, the burdens of others, the immense pressure of our own expectations. Feel the solid, rock-like tension that may live here. Do not be discouraged by it. It is simply very old, very dense ice. Greet it with compassion. It has been trying so hard to help you be strong. Now, offer it a rest. Inhale deeply into the base of your neck, into the broad expanse of your shoulders. Imagine the breath as a warm, flowing oil, massaging the knotted muscles from the inside out. And as you exhale, give yourself permission to set the bags down. Feel the weight on your shoulders becoming lighter, even if only by an ounce. With each out-breath, you are shrugging off a responsibility that was never yours to carry, letting go of a burden from a long-forgotten battle. Imagine the armor cracking, melting, and trickling down your arms and out through your fingertips, leaving lightness and space in its place. Now, guide this gentle, melting warmth into the center of your chest, into the sacred space around your heart. This is where the armor is often the thickest, for it guards the most vulnerable part of you. Here we store our grief, our heartaches, our fears of being truly seen. The tension here may feel like a tightness, a hollowness, or a heavy shield. Breathe into it with supreme tenderness. Inhale a soft, pink light directly into your heart center. This breath whispers, "You are safe. You are loved. It is safe to feel." As you exhale, imagine the shield around your heart beginning to soften. Imagine the frozen walls of grief beginning to thaw, releasing tears that may have been held for years. You do not need to analyze the feeling. You do not need to relive the story. Simply breathe warmth into the sensation and allow it to be released on the out-breath. You are creating a safe space within your own being for your heart to finally be at ease, to beat in an open, undefended space. Let the warmth now descend into your solar plexus and your abdomen, the center of your gut feelings and your deepest fears. When you feel anxious or afraid, this is where the body clenches, creating a knot of unease in the pit of your stomach. This is the home of the inner child who feels unsafe in the world. Breathe into your belly. Let your inhalation be so deep and soft that your abdomen expands like a gentle balloon. This breath reassures that frightened part of you. It says, "All is well." In this moment, you are secure. As you exhale, feel the knot loosening its grip. Feel the churning of anxiety begin to quiet down. Imagine the breath as a calming hand, gently resting on your stomach, radiating peace and safety throughout your core. You are transforming the center of fear into a center of deep, grounded power. This practice is an act of profound self-love, of self-reclamation. It is you, the conscious caretaker of the temple, lovingly restoring its inner sanctum. Some of this armor may dissolve quickly, like a thin morning frost. Other parts may be like ancient glaciers, requiring many seasons of gentle, patient sun before they begin to melt. Do not be discouraged. The healing is not in the final result of perfect relaxation. The healing is in the act itself. The healing happens in the moment you turn toward your tension with love instead of aversion. Every single conscious, warm, compassionate breath you offer to these wounded places is a revolutionary act. It is a rewriting of your history, a reclaiming of your sacred ground. You are teaching your body, on a cellular level, a new way to live. Not in a state of braced, fearful contraction, but in a state of open, trusting, graceful flow. What you have just been doing is the highest form of action. Pure, non-judgmental observation married to loving intention. You have learned to be the sun that melts the frozen rivers in your body. Now, what if you could use this same gentle warmth to melt the frozen storms in your mind? We have begun the sacred work of cleansing the temple, melting the armor of physical tension with the gentle warmth of our breath. This is the vital first layer. But as we soften the body, we become aware that this armor was merely an outer shell, a physical manifestation of a deeper conflict. Now, we must turn our attention inward to the very source of this tension, the restless, ceaseless activity of the human mind. For most of our lives, we have lived in a state of civil war. An endless battle is waged within the holy halls of our own consciousness. We fight against our thoughts, wrestle with our emotions. We build elaborate dams to hold back the river of our sadness. We argue with the voices of our anxiety. We attempt to suppress the fire of our anger. We believe that if we can just win this war, if we can defeat the negative parts of ourselves, then we will finally find peace. But this is the great, tragic illusion of the human condition. The war against the self can never be won. It only ever leads to more exhaustion, more fragmentation, and a deeper, more profound state of suffering. Today, we lay down our arms. We are introduced to the greatest secret of the ancient alchemists and the enlightened sages. The secret is not a more powerful weapon. It is the realization that the battle itself is based on a mistaken identity. The path to inner peace is not through resistance, but through a radical and transformative act of non-resistance. It is the path of pure observation. This is the royal art, the true alchemy of the spirit. The old alchemists sought to turn base metals like lead into pure gold. The inner alchemist seeks to turn the lead of suffering, our fear, our anger, our sorrow into the pure gold of wisdom and peace. And the catalyst, the philosopher's stone that makes this transformation possible, is your own detached, loving awareness. The formula is profoundly simple. A difficult thought plus your resistance to it creates suffering. A difficult thought plus your observation of it creates liberation. Let us use a metaphor to make this clear. Imagine that your consciousness, your true nature, is the vast, open, limitless blue sky. It is eternally present, eternally calm, eternally untouched. Your thoughts and emotions, on the other hand, are the weather. They are the clouds that drift through the sky. Some clouds are white and fluffy, beautiful to look at. These are your moments of joy, your happy thoughts. Other clouds are dark, heavy, and full of thunder and lightning. These are your moments of fear, your bouts of anger, your waves of grief. Since birth, you have been taught to believe that you are the clouds. When a dark cloud of sadness appears, you say, "I am sad." You completely identify with it. You become the storm. You contract your entire being around this temporary weather pattern, believing it to be the whole truth of who you are. And so you are tossed about by its winds and soaked by its rains, forgetting completely that your true nature is the vast, serene sky that is witnessing the storm. The sky is never harmed by the weather. The most violent hurricane does not leave a scratch on it. The darkest cloud does not stain its blue. The sky simply allows the weather to be what it is, to arise and to pass in its own time. The alchemical practice, then, is to learn to be the sky again. It is the practice of disidentifying from the clouds and remembering your vast, spacious nature. And your breath is the tool that facilitates this remembering. Your breath is the tangible experience of the space of the sky. When a dark cloud, a difficult thought or emotion, drifts into your awareness, the old habit is to tense up, to resist, to fight it. The new practice is to breathe. Instead of contracting around the thought, you consciously use your breath to create space around it. You inhale, and you imagine the sky of your awareness expanding. You exhale, and you feel yourself resting in that vastness. You allow the cloud of emotion to be there, floating in the great open space of your being, but you no longer collapse into it. You are not the anger. You are the space in which anger is allowed to be felt. You are not the anxiety. You are the stillness that holds the trembling energy of anxiety. By doing this, you cut the root of suffering. You are no longer a victim of your own weather. Let us walk through this sacred practice. The next time you feel the stirring of a powerful, difficult emotion, fear, jealousy, resentment, loneliness, this. First, acknowledge its presence without judgment. Instead of the habitual thought, "I am anxious," gently rephrase it in your mind. "Ah, I am aware of the energy of anxiety arising within me." This simple linguistic shift is a powerful first step. It creates an initial space between the observer you and the observed the emotion. You are no longer the thing itself, you are the witness of it. Second, immediately anchor your primary attention in the physical sensations of your breath. Feel the air entering your nostrils. Feel your belly rising and falling. The breath is your anchor in the reality of the present moment. The storm cloud of emotion will try to pull you into a story about the past or the future, which is the only place it can survive. Your anchor of the breath keeps you firmly planted in the now, where the cloud's power is diminished. Third, and this is the heart of the alchemy, you simply watch. With a portion of your awareness still anchored in the breath, you allow the emotion to be there in the background. Do not try to fix it. Do not try to make it go away. Do not analyze its story. Simply observe it as pure energy in your body. What does anxiety actually feel like, without the label? A vibration in the chest? A tightness in the throat? A coldness in the stomach? Approach it with the curiosity of a scientist discovering a new phenomenon. You are holding it in a container of calm, spacious awareness. You are bathing the leaden cloud in the golden light of your presence. And fourth, notice what happens. An emotion that is not resisted, that is not judged, and that is not fed by the energy of your stories cannot sustain itself. It is like a fire without fuel. By simply allowing it to be, in the vast, silent space of your awareness, it will burn itself out. It will transform. It will lose its charge and its density, and it will eventually dissolve, leaving the sky of your mind clear once more. This is true freedom. Not the freedom from ever feeling pain or fear, but the freedom that comes from knowing that you are larger than any pain or fear that passes through you. And a beautiful thing happens when you practice this alchemy. When the leaden cloud of emotion dissolves, something is always left in its place, a nugget of pure gold. This is the gold of wisdom. Every emotion, no matter how difficult, carries a gift. By observing it instead of fighting it, you finally create the space to receive that gift. The anxiety you observed might transform into an insight about where you need to be more prepared in your life. The anger you held in loving awareness might reveal to you where a crucial boundary needs to be set. The grief you allowed to flow through you might open your heart to a deeper capacity for love and compassion. You do not get the gold by trying to get rid of the lead. You get the gold by giving the lead your unconditional, loving attention. As the sky of your mind becomes clearer through this practice, as you become less entangled in the daily weather patterns, you begin to perceive something deeper, more constant. You start to sense the subtle atmospheric currents, the vast, flowing streams of energy that move beneath the clouds. You are now ready to perceive the very circulation of life force itself, the great river of prana flowing through your temple. Having learned to be the vast, open sky of awareness, We have witnessed the clouds of thought and emotion drift by without being swept away by their storms. In the growing clarity of our inner world, we begin to perceive a more subtle movement. It is not the fleeting weather of the mind, but the great, constant currents that flow beneath it. We have felt the cosmic ocean of prana, and now we discover that once this energy enters the temple of our body, it does not move at random. Like water flowing over land, it instinctively seeks and creates pathways. It forms streams, tributaries, and great, powerful rivers. The landscape of your body is interlaced with a vast, invisible river system, a sacred geography of flowing life. This is the next layer of our great remembering. The ancient seers, in their deep states of meditation, mapped this inner landscape. They called these energetic pathways nadis, a Sanskrit word meaning pipe or channel. They saw that there were not a few, but tens of thousands of these subtle rivers flowing through us, creating an intricate irrigation network that carries life force to every remote corner of our being. This is the system that delivers vitality to your organs, clarity to your mind, and radiance to your spirit. When these rivers flow freely, the landscape of your body is lush, vibrant, and fertile. You feel energetic, balanced, and alive. But just as a river in the outer world can become blocked by fallen trees, silt, and debris, so too can our inner rivers become clogged. The energetic debris of the armor we have just begun to melt, the solidified tension, the frozen traumas, the stagnant emotions, these things create dams in our nadis. They obstruct the flow of prana, and the lands that were once fed by these rivers begin to dry up. This is the subtle origin of so much of our disease. The patch of land that is your liver becomes deprived of its flow, and its function diminishes. The area that is your heart becomes arid and constricted. You feel fatigue not because you lack sleep, but because your inner landscape is in a state of drought. But here is the secret that the yogis discovered. You are not a helpless victim of these blockages. You hold the key to flood control. You are the master of the watershed. And the master control mechanism is your own conscious breath. Your breath is the source of the spring that feeds these rivers, and it is the force that can generate a current powerful enough to break through the old dams and clear away the ancient debris. Through the power of your focused intention, married to the rhythm of your breath, you can consciously direct this river of life force, flushing the channels and revitalizing the parched lands within you. We will now engage in a practice to do precisely this, a practice of inner irrigation, of sacred hydrology. Settle into your posture. Let your spine be straight but not stiff, like a proud tree reaching for the sun. Let us begin at the foundation. Bring your awareness to the soles of your feet. Imagine that from the bottom of your feet, you can extend energetic roots down, deep into the cool, dark, nurturing soil of the earth. The earth itself is a great being, teeming with a powerful, grounding, and stable form of prana. As you begin your next inhalation, imagine drawing this potent, earthly energy up through your roots, into the soles of your feet. Visualize it as a cool, silver, liquid light, the very essence of planetary life. Continue to inhale and feel this silver stream being drawn up from your feet, through your ankles, into your calves and shins, rising through your knees and thighs, merging from two streams into one powerful current at the base of your spine. Here lies the headwaters of the great central river of your being, the most important of all the nadis, known as the Sushumna. This river flows through the hollow core of your spinal column. As you continue your long, slow, deep inhalation, feel this silver current of energy begin its ascent up this central channel. It is a cool, soothing, powerful stream rising through the center of your being. As it rises, it passes through and illuminates the great energy centers, the chakras, that are situated along its banks. It awakens the red earth of your foundation, the orange waters of your creativity, the yellow sun of your personal power, the vibrant green of your heart's compassion, the clear blue of your authentic voice, the deep indigo of your inner vision. Feel this current clearing and brightening each center as it passes. The river continues to rise, a cool, clear column of light moving all the way up to the very crown of your head. At the peak of your inhalation, the column of energy has reached the top of your head, the highest point of your inner temple. Pause here for a moment, feeling this potent, collected energy. Now, as you begin to exhale, imagine this energy blossoming at your crown into a magnificent fountain of light. This silver fountain cascades down, flowing over the outside of your entire body. Feel this cleansing, pranic waterfall as it streams down your scalp, over your face, down the front and back of your torso, along the length of your arms and legs. It is a shower of pure life force, washing every organ, purifying every tissue, and bathing every single cell in your body in its healing radiance. As the exhalation completes, feel the energy returning once more to the earth, ready to be drawn up again in the next cycle. Let us continue this for a few more rounds. Inhale, drawing the cool silver energy up from the earth, through the legs, and up the central channel of the spine, all the way to the crown. Exhale, and feel the energy cascade down like a fountain, washing over and through your entire being, cleansing, clearing, and revitalizing. With each cycle, feel the river flowing more freely, more powerfully. Feel it dissolving any blockages or stagnant pools it encounters, transforming them back into pure, flowing energy. You are consciously flushing your own energetic system. You are taking control of your own vitality. You are directing the river of life. And it is crucial to understand that this river is not a blind, mechanical force. It is supremely intelligent. It is an extension of the same consciousness that designed the stars. You do not need to mentally direct it to your aching back or your troubled mind. Your only task is to set the process in motion with your breath and your intention. The prana itself, in its infinite wisdom, knows exactly where it is needed most. It will flow naturally toward the areas of drought and dis-ease, bringing the precise energetic nourishment required to restore balance and harmony. Your job is not to be the engineer, micromanaging every detail. Your job is to be the gatekeeper, to open the sluice gates with your breath and trust the profound intelligence of the water to do its work. Trust this river, trust your body, trust the life that flows through you. The constant conscious circulation of this energy is one of the greatest secrets to sustained health, mental clarity, and spiritual evolution. You are learning to live not from your own limited reserves of energy, but to connect directly to the infinite supply of the cosmos. Now, let us shift our focus one last time. We have felt this great, intelligent river flowing through the landscape of our being. But where does this life-giving water ultimately go? It goes to the trillions of individual inhabitants of your inner land. It is absorbed by every muscle fiber, every neuron, every bone marrow stem cell. Every single glowing brick in your temple is, this very moment, drinking deeply from this sacred river. They are not just passive recipients of this flow. They are alive, they are aware, and they are listening. They are responding to the quality and the message carried within this pranic stream. Are you ready to understand what they are hearing? The great, intelligent river of prana flows now through the sacred geography of your being, its healing waters reaching every shore, every valley, every plain. But let us now bring our awareness to the inhabitants of this land, the ones for whom this river flows. Within the temple of your body, you are host to a population that outnumbers the stars in our galaxy. Trillions of individual living cells, each one a tiny spark of life, a miniature point of consciousness. We have been taught to think of them as mindless biological machines, but this is a profound understatement. The truth is far more mystical, far more staggering. You are not a single entity living in a body. You are a conscious universe, and your cells are your citizens. You are the sun around which they orbit. You are the sky under which they live. And they are, in every moment of every day, looking to you for guidance. They are listening. They are listening to you, not with ears, but with their entire being. They have a language far more ancient and direct than words. They listen to the chemical whispers and the energetic shouts that you produce with every thought you think and every emotion you feel. When a thought of fear or anger arises in your mind, it is not just an abstract event. It is a biochemical reality. The brain, in its role as the temple's chief apothecary, immediately releases a cascade of stress hormones. Molecules of cortisol and adrenaline are sent flooding through the holy rivers of your bloodstream. To a cell, these molecules are not just chemicals, they are messages. They are urgent dispatches from the central command that scream, "Danger, the world is unsafe." Shut down growth, hoard energy, prepare for battle, and the cells, in their perfect, loyal obedience, listen and obey. They constrict, they go into a defensive posture. Their regenerative processes are put on hold. Conversely, when you cultivate a feeling of love, of gratitude, of deep peace, the apothecary of the brain releases a different kind of potion. It releases endorphins, oxytocin, serotonin, the molecules of bliss and connection. These chemical messages flow through the same rivers, but they carry a completely different set of instructions. They whisper to every cell, "All is well, the world is safe. Open up, thrive, connect, and heal." And again the cells listen and obey. They relax. They open their membranes to receive more nourishment. Their regenerative functions switch into high gear. They communicate with their neighbors in a spirit of harmonious cooperation. This is not a theory. This is the tangible scientific reality of how your inner state dictates your physical health. Your thoughts and feelings are not private. They are public broadcasts to the entire cellular population of your being. But they are listening to something even more subtle than the chemical river. They are listening to the quality of the prana itself, the vibrational flavor of the energy you are breathing. The river of life force is not just water. It is a carrier of information, of frequency. A breath inhaled in a state of frantic anxiety carries a jagged, incoherent, static-filled frequency. A breath inhaled in a state of deep love carries a smooth, coherent, harmonious frequency. Your cells are exquisitely sensitive instruments. They can feel the difference. They are bathed in your energetic state. To be in a chronic state of negativity is to force your cells to live in a perpetual thunderstorm of chaotic energy. To cultivate a state of peace is to allow them to live in a field of warm, gentle, life-giving sunlight. Let us use a grander metaphor to truly grasp this. Imagine that your community of 70 trillion cells is a vast celestial choir. Each cell is a single magnificent singer, and all together, their potential is to create a sound of unimaginable beauty and power the symphony of perfect health. You, as the central consciousness, the spirit that inhabits this temple, are the conductor of this choir. The baton you wield is your attention, your intention, and the emotional frequency you choose to embody. When you, the conductor, are lost in thoughts of fear, judgment, and resentment, your movements become erratic, your rhythm chaotic. You are asking this celestial choir to sing a song of discord. You are leading them in a dirge of dis-ease, and they, in their loyalty, will do their best to follow your lead. The harmony is lost. Individual cells become stressed and confused. Their song becomes weak, their vibration falters, and their very structure can become distorted as they replicate under this dissonant influence. But when you, the conductor, consciously choose to stand in a state of love, peace, and gratitude, your baton moves with sublime grace and power. You are leading the choir in the symphony for which they were created. Bathed in this coherent and loving frequency, every single singer in the choir feels it. They stand taller. Their voices become clear and strong. They listen to their neighbors and fall into perfect, resonant harmony. This is the music of regeneration. This is the sound of vitality. In this state of inner coherence, the cells function at their absolute peak. They heal, they repair, they replicate flawlessly, continuously renewing the temple and keeping it in a state of radiant well-being. The power to change the music is not outside of you. It is and always has been, with the conductor. It is with you. Let us now move from metaphor to practice. Let us engage in a direct and conscious act of communication. Bring your awareness inside your body. Perhaps there is an area that has been calling for your attention through pain, discomfort, or illness. Or perhaps you simply wish to send love to a particular organ, like your heart or your lungs. Choose a destination for your message. Now, just as we did before, begin to inhale that warm golden light of prana, that river of life force. But this time, we will infuse it with a clear and loving intention. As you breathe in, draw that golden light directly into this chosen area of your body, seeing it flood and saturate all the cells in that region. And as you breathe, speak to them. You can speak silently, in the language of your heart. With your next inhalation, send this message: I am breathing in pure, healing light. As you exhale, send this message: I am releasing all that is not in harmony with my perfect health. Now, let us go deeper. Inhale and send the message: to the precious cells of this part of me, I see you. I thank you for your tireless work. Exhale and send this message: I am washing you clean with my love. Inhale again, a deep, loving breath, and send the ultimate command of wellness: I love you. I give you permission to return now to your original, divine blueprint of perfect, vibrant health. You are healed, you are whole, you are radiant. Feel this. Do not just think the words, feel the truth of them. Feel the love, feel the gratitude, feel the authority of your own healing command. You are the conductor, giving a clear, beautiful, and powerful direction to your choir. When you practice this, you are participating in the miracle of your own creation. You are stepping into your role as the loving steward of your inner world. And this conscious communication creates a powerful ripple effect. When a few singers in the choir begin to sing a new harmonious note, their neighbors hear it and begin to tune to it. The harmony spreads from one section to another until the entire celestial choir of your being begins to resonate with a single, unified, powerful song of wellness. The entire temple begins to hum with this coherent frequency. This collective, unified hum, this song of your cells, is not contained by your skin. It radiates outward from you, creating a palpable field of energy. This is your personal atmosphere, your energetic broadcast to the universe. This unified field of cellular resonance is your vibrational signature. It is the unique frequency that you are constantly emitting, and it is the primary force that shapes the reality you experience. The celestial choir of your 70 trillion cells is now beginning to find its harmony. As you communicate with them through the loving intention of your breath, a unified song begins to rise from within the temple. This song, this collective hum of your entire being, is not a silent internal event. It radiates. It emanates from you as a tangible field of energy, a personal atmosphere that surrounds you and moves with you through the world. We must now come to understand the nature of this field, for it is the most powerful and creative force in your life. This is your vibrational signature. To grasp this, we must first embrace a fundamental truth known to mystics for millennia and now being whispered by the pioneers of physics. Everything is vibration. The chair you are sitting on, though it appears solid, is a mass of atoms vibrating at a frequency so dense it creates form. The light entering your window is energy vibrating at a much higher, faster frequency. The thoughts in your mind and the feelings in your heart are also vibrations, more subtle, but infinitely more powerful in their creative capacity. Your vibrational signature, therefore, is the sum total of the song you are singing in every moment. It is the complex, unique frequency that results from the combined vibrations of your physical body, your emotional state, and your dominant thought patterns. It is your energetic fingerprint, the mark you leave on the universe, and the signal that determines what the universe reflects back to you. The most useful way to understand this is to imagine yourself as a powerful, living radio broadcasting tower. You are constantly, in every moment, sending a signal out into the cosmos. The universe, which operates on an immutable law of resonance, does not judge your signal. It does not decide what you deserve. It simply acts as a perfect mirror. It receives your broadcast and reflects back to you experiences, people, and circumstances that perfectly match the frequency you are emitting. This is the great secret behind what is often called the law of attraction. It is not about wishing or wanting. It is about being and broadcasting. Consider the frequencies. A state of deep gratitude broadcasts a high, harmonious, magnetic frequency. When you are transmitting this signal, the universe has no choice but to reflect back to you more reasons to be grateful. It is cosmic law. A state of fear or anxiety broadcasts a low, chaotic, jagged frequency. When this is your dominant signal, the universe will dutifully mirror back events and interactions that validate and perpetuate your fear. It is not punishing you. It is simply responding to your broadcast with perfect, impersonal fidelity. The frequency of anger is a spiky, aggressive transmission that will attract conflict and opposition. The frequency of love, the base frequency of the universe itself, is a resonant, coherent, expansive signal that will attract loving relationships, supportive encounters, and a sense of belonging. You can never experience a reality that you are not a vibrational match for. You cannot tune your radio to a heavy metal station and expect to hear a peaceful symphony. The experiences of your life are not happening to you. They are responding to you. This realization is either the most terrifying or the most liberating truth you can ever embrace. If you remain unconscious of your own broadcast, you will feel like a helpless victim, tossed about on the random seas of fate. But the moment you realize that you control the signal, you move from being a victim of your reality to being the conscious creator of it. So, the great question arises, how does one change the station? The mind is a fickle instrument, often lost in clouds of old programming. Emotions can feel like overwhelming storms. Trying to force a positive thought when you are feeling desperate often feels inauthentic and creates even more internal conflict. But there is a back door. There is a master control dial you can access in any moment, regardless of your mental or emotional state. That dial is your breath. There is an unbreakable, biological link between your emotional state and your pattern of breathing. They are two sides of the same coin. You cannot be in a state of panic while breathing slowly, deeply, and rhythmically. It is a physiological impossibility. Short, shallow, rapid breaths from the top of the chest are the signature of the fight-or-flight response. They are the frequency of anxiety. A long, slow, deep breath that moves the diaphragm and fills the abdomen is the frequency of peace and safety. It activates the vagus nerve and switches the entire nervous system from a state of stress to a state of relaxation and regeneration. Your breath is not something that just responds to your emotional state. It is the tool that creates your emotional state. Let us conduct a brief experiment. For just a few moments, begin to breathe in a shallow, rapid manner. Short, quick breaths, just using the very top of your lungs. Notice, almost immediately, a subtle feeling of unease that begins to arise. A slight tension, a feeling of being on alert. This is the vibration of anxiety being generated in your body by your breath pattern. Now, let that go. And on your next breath, inhale slowly and deeply through your nose for a count of 4, feeling your belly expand. Hold gently for a moment. And now, exhale even more slowly for a count of 6, as if breathing out through a thin straw. Do this just 2 or 3 times. Inhale for 4, exhale for 6. Notice the immediate shift. Notice the wave of calm that begins to wash over your nervous system. Notice how the frantic energy dissolves. You have just consciously changed your vibrational frequency in under 30 seconds. You have turned the tuning dial. This is your power. In any moment, no matter how chaotic the external world, no matter how stormy your internal world, You can stop, and you can change your breath. You do not need to reason with your anger. You do not need to argue with your fear. You simply need to take control of the tuning dial. By consciously choosing a breath pattern of peace, you begin to broadcast the frequency of peace. And as you broadcast this new signal, the choir of your cells hears it. They begin to hum a new song. Your entire vibrational signature begins to shift, and then the mirror of the universe begins to reflect this new reality back to you. It may not happen overnight, but it is law. The new signal must be answered with a new reflection. This is the profound responsibility and the glorious freedom of being a conscious creator. With every single breath, you are either casting a vote for your old reality, or you are broadcasting the signal of the new reality you wish to inhabit. You might now be asking, if I am doing this, if I am changing my breath now, why do old, unwanted patterns still show up in my life? This is a vital question. The reason is that your broadcast signal is not yet perfectly clean. Imagine a radio station that has been playing the same sad song for 20 years. Even when the DJ decides to play a new, joyful song, there is still static on the line. There are ghost frequencies, echoes of the old song that are still vibrating in the equipment, interfering with the new signal. These are the unresolved energetic patterns of your past. The remnants of the armor, the unhealed grief, the deep-seated beliefs that are still humming away in your subconscious field. These patterns contribute to your overall vibrational signature, often without your conscious knowledge. Therefore, before we can broadcast a truly clear and powerful signal of our choosing, we must address this static. We must turn our attention to the energetic ghosts of yesterday that are still haunting the airwaves of our today, and learn how to gently, lovingly release their hold on our frequency. We have come to understand that we are broadcasting a vibrational signal to the universe, a signal that shapes our reality. We have also acknowledged that this signal is not always clean. It is often filled with static, with echoes from another time. These are the ghost frequencies of our past, the unresolved energetic patterns that haunt the airwaves of our present moment. We must now turn with courage and compassion to face these ghosts. Not to fight them, but to finally understand them, and in understanding them, to release them. The most profound secret you can learn about your past is this: it does not exist, not in the way you think. Your memories are not stored in some distant, inaccessible realm called yesterday. They exist, right now, as active, energetic imprints stored in the cells and tissues of your body temple. Every unresolved grief, every unexpressed anger, every deep-seated fear is a living, breathing phantom that inhabits the halls of your being. And these ghosts are the source of the static. But here is the second great secret about these phantoms. They are not self-sustaining. Like all energetic forms, they require nourishment to survive. They are parasites that feed on a very specific type of energy, your conscious attention. Think of how this works. An event in the present momenta, word, a song, a particular syntax is a trigger. This trigger awakens a dormant ghost, a painful memory from the past. Immediately, your mind latches onto it and begins to do what it does best. It tells a story. He shouldn't have said that. She always does this to me. Why does this keep happening? It was so unfair. We spin the narrative over and over, analyzing it, judging it, lamenting it, and with every loop of the story, we are taking our precious, creative, present moment life force, our Prana, and feeding it directly to the ghost. The ghost feasts on our rumination. It drinks our emotional reaction, and it grows stronger, more solid, more influential. The shallow, constricted breathing that always accompanies these painful memories provides the low-frequency energy that is the ghost's native atmosphere. Is it any wonder these patterns feel so persistent? We are, with the best of intentions, keeping our own ghosts alive. Today, we learn a new way, a way taught by the masters of inner peace. We learn the sacred art of starving the ghosts. This is not an act of aggression. It is an act of withdrawing the food source. It is a gentle, loving, but firm refusal to continue feeding the pain of the past. It is the understanding that what these ghosts truly fear is not your anger or your resistance, but your calm, non-interactive, present-moment awareness. Your presence is like pure sunlight to a creature of shadow. It cannot feed on it. It can only dissolve in it. We will now undertake a practice of this sacred starvation. I ask you to do this with immense gentleness and self-compassion. Bring to mind a recurring ghost in your life. Not necessarily your most terrifying demon, but a familiar phantom. A persistent feeling of not being good enough, perhaps. A recurring memory of a past rejection, a lingering resentment towards someone. Do not force it. Simply invite it to step forward from the shadows of your subconscious into the soft, safe light of your awareness now. The moment it appears, the mind will immediately try to serve it its favorite meal, the story. It will want to tell you why you feel this way, whose fault it is, what it means about you. Your task is to perform a radical act. Let the story go. Gently, lovingly, refuse to engage with the narrative. The story is the ghost's power. Without it, the ghost is just pure, raw energy. Our interest is not in the drama, but in the energy itself. Now, ask yourself a new question. Where does this ghost live in my body temple? Scan your body with your inner awareness. Does this feeling of not good enough reside as a hollow pit in your stomach? Does the resentment feel like a hot, tight band around your chest? Does the old grief feel like a heavy weight on your shoulders? Locate the physical sensation of the ghost. By doing this, you have transformed an abstract psychological problem into a tangible physical experience. And a physical experience is something we can work with directly. Now you have located it. You have found the ghost's hiding place in the temple. Here is where the sacred alchemy occurs. The old habit would be to recoil from this sensation, to tense around it, to try to push it away. This resistance is another form of food for the ghost. It loves the drama of a fight. We will do the opposite. We will do what the ghost least expects. We will move toward it with our breath. Begin to breathe in a deep, slow, rhythmic manner, drawing the breath down into your belly. And with your focused intention, imagine you are breathing that warm, high-frequency, present-moment prana directly into the center of the physical sensation. You are not trying to blast the ghost away. You are lovingly, compassionately flooding its dark hiding place with pure golden light. You are infusing the dense, contracted energy of the ghost with the light, spacious, vibrant energy of the now. And throughout this process, your primary attention remains anchored to the simple physical sensation of the breath itself. The cool air entering your nostrils, the gentle rise and fall of your abdomen. The breath is the foreground of your attention. The ghost and its sensation are in the background. You have withdrawn its primary food source, your direct focus. What happens when a ghost is met in this way? When it is offered light instead of drama, presence instead of resistance, it begins to starve. It has nothing to metabolize. It cannot feed on the high-frequency energy of your conscious breath. It cannot survive in the light of your loving, non-judgmental presence. And so, it begins to weaken. The sensation in your body may at first intensify. As the ghost rages against its starvation, breathe through it. Stay anchored in the breath. Then, you will notice a shift. The tightness begins to lose its grip. The heat begins to cool. The density begins to feel more porous, more transparent. The ghost is losing its energetic charge. You are not destroying it. You are lovingly dissolving it. You are reclaiming the prana that has been trapped for so long in this frozen pattern of the past. You are liberating your own life force. This is a practice of profound self-healing and liberation. Each time a ghost from your past rises, and you meet it with this practice by dropping the story, locating the sensation, and breathing into it with anchored awareness, you weaken its hold on you. You are rewiring your own nervous system. You are teaching your body that it no longer needs to house these phantoms. Over time, they will simply fade away, not because you have fought them, but because you have ceased to offer them a home and a meal in your present moment. The way to free yourself from the prison of your past is not to spend a lifetime analyzing its locks and bars, but to simply stop feeding the jailer. And the most effective way to starve the ghosts of yesterday is to become so completely engrossed, so utterly nourished by the magnificent feast of the present moment, that you no longer have any appetite for the stale, moldy crumbs of the past. This leads us to the ultimate sanctuary, the only place in all of existence where the ghosts of the past have no power and the anxieties for the future have no voice. This place is the eternal now, and the only vehicle, the only bridge that can carry you there, is your own breath. We have stood with courage in the halls of our inner temple and begun the sacred work of starving the ghosts of yesterday. We have learned that their power comes from our attention, which we feed to them by endlessly replaying the stories of the past. But the mind, in its restlessness, does not only dwell in the ruins of yesterday, it also seeks to colonize the mists of tomorrow. It creates phantoms of the future scenarios of worry, detailed plans for disaster, anxious rehearsals for conversations that may never happen. And so, the human soul finds itself trapped, suspended between two great illusions, the ghost of a past that is gone forever and the phantom of a future that does not yet exist. We spend the majority of our precious, miraculous lives oscillating between regret and anxiety, memory and anticipation. And in doing so, we miss the only thing that is ever real, the only place where life ever actually happens, the sacred, eternal, and ever-present moment of now. All of your psychological suffering is born of this time travel. Think of it. Guilt, resentment, bitterness, shame. Can these feelings exist without reference to the past? They are the rotten fruit of memory. Worry, stress, dread, anxiety. Can these states exist without projecting yourself into the future? They are the phantom pains of what has not yet occurred. The thinking mind is a time machine. This is its nature, and in many ways its gift. But we have become lost in the machine. We have forgotten how to step out of it and stand on the solid ground of reality. We have mistaken the simulation for life itself. Imagine your mind is a magnificent, beautiful kite. Its nature is to fly, to soar on the winds of thought, to drift back into the gray clouds of yesterday and surge forward into the bright, uncertain clouds of tomorrow. It is a beautiful thing to watch, but you have forgotten that you are the one holding the string. You have let the kite pull you off your feet, and now you are being dragged helplessly through the sky, completely at the mercy of the changing winds of time. So how do we return? How do we find our footing on the firm earth when our mind is lost in the clouds? We must find something that cannot time travel, something that is utterly and completely bound to the present moment. That something is your breath. Your mind can think about a breath you took 10 years ago. Your mind can anticipate the breath you might take in 10 minutes. But you can only ever feel one breath, the one that is happening right now. The physical sensation of air entering your nostrils, filling your lungs, and then being released. This experience is inextricably woven into the fabric of the now. It cannot happen in the past. It cannot happen in the future. It is an ambassador of reality, a constant, faithful reporter on what is actually occurring in this moment. Your breath, therefore, is the string of the kite. It is the infallible anchor that can, at any moment, pull you out of the illusory worlds of past and future and plant you firmly in the living soil of the present. It is the bridge. This is not a complex philosophical idea. It is a practical, experiential truth. Let us walk across that bridge together now. Notice where your mind is. Is it thinking about what you need to do after this? Is it replaying a conversation from earlier today? Is it somewhere else entirely? Do not judge it. Simply notice the kite soaring in the clouds. Now, gently but firmly, begin to pull on the string. Bring the entirety of your attention to the physical sensations of your next inhalation. Feel the precise temperature of the air as it touches the rim of your nostrils. Follow its path, its texture, as it travels down your throat. Feel the magnificent expansion of your rib cage, the gentle rising of your abdomen. For the duration of this single in-breath, you are 100% present. You are home. Now, follow the exhalation with the same total attention. Feel the release, the letting go, the slight warmth of the air as it leaves your body. For the duration of this single out-breath, you are anchored in reality. You have just crossed the bridge. Your mind, being a creature of habit, will drift away again. The kite will catch another gust of thought and soar back into the clouds. This is not a failure. It is simply the nature of the kite. Your practice is not to prevent the kite from flying, but to become an expert at gently, patiently, and lovingly pulling on the string over and over again. Every time you notice your mind has wandered into the past or the future, you smile and you use the next breath as your bridge back to the now. Ah, there goes the mind again, into the future. And then, whoosh, you slide your attention back to the feeling of the inhale. You are here. Oh, now it's drifting into the past. Whoosh, you anchor your attention in the feeling of the exhale. You are here. This is the fundamental practice of all true meditation. It is the ceaseless, gentle return to the present moment, using the breath as the sacred vehicle. And why is this so important? Because everything you truly desire is found here, in the now, and nowhere else. Your creative power does not exist in the past. Your peace of mind does not exist in the future. Both are available only in this moment. When you are fully present, your senses awaken from their slumber. You do not just eat your food. You taste its flavors with an intensity that is astonishing. You do not just see a tree. You perceive its intricate patterns, the play of light on its leaves, its silent, powerful presence. You do not just hear your child's voice. You feel the love and the life force carried within it. Life ceases to be a series of mundane tasks you must get through to reach some future state of happiness. The moment itself becomes the destination. The journey becomes the goal. The means and the end become one. This is the state of joy, the state of flow, the state of grace. It is your birthright. To arrive in the now, through the gateway of the breath, is the first great act of liberation from the tyranny of the mind. It is to find the one safe harbor in the entire universe. But to live here freely, to truly make this present moment your home, requires a deeper and more courageous skill. It requires the ability to continuously let go, to surrender to the unfolding of life as it is, without resistance. The practice of presence has two phases, perfectly mirrored in your breath. The in-breath is the active receiving of the present moment, the saying yes to what is here. But it is in the out-breath that the deeper magic lies. The out-breath is the physical embodiment of release, of letting go, of surrender. To truly master the art of living, you must master the art of the exhale. For it is in the exhale that we find the profound courage to surrender. We have arrived, through the sacred bridge of the breath, into the luminous reality of the now. This is the only place of true power, the only harbor of true peace. But to merely arrive here is one thing. To live here, to make this present moment our home, requires a quality we have been taught to misunderstand. It requires a form of courage that does not roar, but yields. For most of our lives, we have been conditioned to believe that strength is a function of holding on. Strength is the clenched fist, the gritted teeth, the hardened resolve. It is the in-breath, the gathering of resources, the accumulation of power, the building of higher walls. We have tried to control our lives, to manage outcomes, to force reality into the shape of our desires. And this has left us exhausted, brittle, and in a constant state of low-grade warfare with life itself. This is the strength of the ego, and it is a fragile, finite thing. Today, we are introduced to a different kind of strength, a different kind of courage. It is the strength of the willow that bends in the hurricane and survives, while the rigid oak cracks and falls. It is the power of water that yields to every obstacle, yet carves canyons out of solid rock. This is the strength of surrender, and its physical embodiment its most intimate teacher, is the exhale. We have paid so much attention to the inhale, the act of taking in life, but we have neglected the profound wisdom of its counterpart, the sacred act of letting go. Your exhale is a physiological process of surrender. The inhale requires muscular effort to draw air in. The natural exhale requires nothing. It is a simple, passive release of that muscular effort. It is the body's innate biological sigh of relief. It is a return to a state of rest. Yet, watch how we interfere with this natural surrender. When we are afraid, we hold our breath, trapping the stale air and the fearful energy within us. When we are anxious, our exhales become short and shallow, never fully emptying, never fully releasing. This incomplete exhalation is the physical signature of our inability to let go. We are afraid to be empty. We are afraid to trust. We are clinging to the last moment, the last breath, unable to fully surrender to the present. Imagine spending your entire life with your fists clenched, white-knuckled, desperately holding on to everything you fear you might lose. This is the state most of us live in. The conscious exhale is the practice of gently, deliberately, and courageously uncurling those fingers, one by one, and opening the palm to the universe. It is the most liberating practice you will ever learn. Let us explore this liberating act together now. Bring your full attention to the rhythm of your breath, but with a new focus. For the next few moments, let the inhale take care of itself. Let your primary interest be the journey of the out-breath. As you next exhale, make it just a little longer, a little slower, a little more complete than usual. Imagine you are releasing the air through a thin, invisible straw, a long, steady, gentle stream. Follow it all the way to its end. And then, at the very bottom, when you think you are empty, gently contract your abdominal muscles and push out that last, final whisper of air. This is the point of total release, the point of complete physiological surrender. Do not be afraid of this emptiness. It is a sacred void. It is the fertile ground from which the new arises. Now, let us attach our intention to this conscious act of release. We will use the exhale to let go of the burdens we have carried for so long within our temple. With your next slow, complete exhalation, I invite you to breathe out the need to be right. Just for this moment, let it all go the arguments you are having in your head, the positions you are defending. Exhale and surrender into the peace of not knowing. With your next long exhale, breathe out the need to control the future. Release your grip on tomorrow's plans, your anxieties about the outcome. Let the heavy weight of managing the universe fall from your shoulders and dissolve on the out-breath. You are not in control. Surrender to the flow. Now, take a comfortable breath in, and on the next exhale, release the armor from your body. Breathe out the tension from your jaw. Breathe out the hardness from your shoulders. Breathe out the shield from around your heart. With every slow release of air, feel your body softening, yielding, letting go of the physical remnants of old battles. With your next exhale, let go of the person you think you are supposed to be. Release the weight of expectations from your family, from society, from yourself. Let go of the mask. Exhale the immense effort of maintaining a persona, and simply rest in the authenticity of your own being, right here, right now. You are breathing out a lifetime of striving. You are surrendering into the grace of just being. Do you see the courage this requires? It is the courage to trust. It is the courage to believe that if you let go, you will not be abandoned. If you open your hand, you will not be left empty. This is the deep wisdom of the exhale. When you voluntarily empty yourself, when you exhale so completely that you create a momentary vacuum within your being, you are making space. And nature, the universe, abhors a vacuum. Into that empty space you have so courageously created, life rushes back in. Fresh prana, new energy, unexpected insights, and unforeseen blessings can now enter because you have finally made room for them. By releasing your desperate grip on the old, you free your hands to receive the new. This is the dance of grace. This is an act of supreme faith. Every complete exhalation is a declaration of your trust in the universe. You are letting go of the breath you have, fully trusting that the next breath, the one you need, will be provided. You are letting go of your own frantic efforts and aligning yourself with the effortless power of the cosmic rhythm. You are moving from a state of doing to a state of allowing. This gentle rhythm of consciously receiving on the inhale and courageously surrendering on the exhale is the very rhythm of a life lived in grace. It is a dance with reality rather than a war against it. It is the secret to peace, to resilience, and to true unshakable strength. As you become more sensitive to this personal pulse of surrender, this inner dance of gathering in and letting go, you may begin to feel that it is strangely familiar. You begin to realize that you are not dancing alone. You are part of a much grander choreography. This rhythm that you feel in the quiet temple of your body is the rhythm of the ocean tides on the shore. It is the rhythm of the moon waxing and waning in the night sky. It is the rhythm of the seasons on the earth. Your small personal breath is an echo of the great cosmic breath. This rhythm of surrender and reception, this sacred dance within the temple of your body, may begin to feel strangely, deeply familiar. It is a pulse you have known forever, a song your soul recognizes. This is no accident. The intimacy you feel with this rhythm is an echo, a resonance of a much larger dance. The rhythm of your own small breath is a perfect, holographic reflection of the breathing of the universe itself. You are not a separate entity breathing alone in the dark. You are a microcosm, and your every breath is in conversation with the macrocosm. To feel this is to dissolve the illusion of separation and to merge with the all. Let your awareness expand now beyond the boundaries of your skin. Feel the presence of the room around you, the building, the earth beneath you, and bring to your mind the great oceans of this planet. Picture the slow, powerful, relentless advance of the high tide, a great planetary inhalation of water as the sea covers the shore, filling every pool, claiming the land with its immense, quiet power. This is the universe inhaling. And then feel the long, slow, sighing release of the low tide, the great exhalation as the water recedes, revealing the glistening, transformed landscape that was hidden beneath. This rhythm, which has pulsed for billions of years, is the very rhythm you are experiencing in your own chest. Your lungs are a secret ocean, your breath the silent tide, rising and falling in perfect sympathy with the waters of the world. Now, feel the turning of the planet itself. The dawn breaking is the beginning of a great terrestrial exhalation. Light, energy, activity, and sound pour out across the surface of the world for 12 magnificent hours. It is a breath of expression, of doing, of being manifest, and then comes dusk, the beginning of the long, restorative inhalation. The world breathes in darkness, silence, stillness, and dreams. It is a breath of repose, of gathering in, of dissolving back into mystery. Your own cycle of waking and sleeping, of activity and rest, is a miniature reflection of this planetary breath. You are living the life of the earth in a single day. Feel the larger breath of the seasons. Feel the first tentative inhalation of spring as life force is drawn up from the sleeping earth and the world awakens in a burst of green. Feel the peak of that inhalation in the full, vibrant, radiant energy of summer. When life is at its most expressive, its most outwardly focused, then feel the beginning of the great letting go, the long, slow exhalation of autumn, as the leaves turn to fire and release their grip, and the energy of the world begins to draw back inward. And finally, feel the pause at the bottom of the breath, the deep, silent, sacred stillness of winter, when the world rests in its own empty fullness, gathering strength in the dark before the next inhalation begins. Your own life follows this very pattern. There are seasons of new growth, seasons of vibrant expression, seasons of necessary release, and seasons of quiet, inward reflection. You are not just living on the earth, you are living as the earth. Let us now zoom out even further beyond this world into the vast, silent cathedral of space. Consider the life of a single star. It begins as a great cosmic inhalation, as a vast cloud of gas and dust, a nebula, is drawn together by the gentle, inexorable pull of gravity. It gathers matter. It accumulates potential, spiraling inward for millions of years. This is the universe breathing in. When the pressure and heat at its core reach a critical point, the star ignites in a flash of divine fire. For the billions of years of its life, it exists in a state of sustained, radiant fullness. This is the sacred pause at the peak of the cosmic breath. And when its fuel is spent, it begins its final magnificent exhalation. It expands into a red giant or explodes in a supernova, releasing all of its accumulated energy, all of its heavy elements, back out into the cosmos, seeding the void with the raw materials for new stars, new planets, and new life. You, listening to this now, are composed of atoms that were forged in the heart of such a star. You are made of stardust. You are the living memory of a star's last breath. And what of the universe itself? The mystics and the scientists are beginning to tell the same story, that what we call the Big Bang was not an explosion in space, but an explosion of space. It was the beginning of a single, all-encompassing cosmic exhalation that is still, 14 billion years later, ongoing. The universe is breathing out. The galaxies are flying apart, not into a pre-existing emptiness, but as the very fabric of space-time itself expands. The space you create in your own chest with every calm, expansive breath is a personal echo of the space being created between the farthest galaxies. You are breathing with the universe. You are not a tiny, insignificant creature living in a vast cosmos. You are the vast cosmos, experiencing itself, for a little while, in the form of a human being. The same laws of rhythm, of vibration, of expansion and contraction that govern the life of a galaxy, govern the life of your own cells. Bring your awareness back now, from the farthest reaches of space, and feel it land once more in the intimate temple of your own body. Feel the tide of your breath rising and falling. Feel this rhythm, but feel it now with this new understanding. This is not just your breath. This is the breath of the universe, flowing through you. The great symphony of creation, the music of the spheres, the silent pulse of existence itself, is being played through a single, unique, and sacred instrument, you. Your body is the flute, and your breath is the divine wind passing through it, playing the eternal song. To feel this is to end your exile. It is to come home. It is to understand that the boundary of your skin is just a suggestion, a temporary convenience. Your true being is as vast and as ancient as the night sky. There is, however, one crucial, miraculous difference between your breath and the breath of an ocean or a star. The ocean breathes, but it does not know it is breathing. The star shines, but it has no awareness of its own light. You, as a human being, have been given the ultimate gift, the gift of consciousness. You can not only be the breath of the universe, you can be aware that you are the breath of the universe. You can become a conscious echo. You can participate in the cosmic dance with awareness and with love, and this awareness changes everything. It is the final key. To recognize yourself as the cosmos in miniature is the pinnacle of wisdom. But the next step, the one that moves you from wisdom to power, is to shift from being a passive echo to a conscious co-creator. If the universe breathes worlds into being with this rhythm, what worlds can you breathe into being using the very same power? You can learn to take the thread of this universal energy and begin, with your own focused mind, to weave the fabric of your reality. All it requires is the thread of intention. You stand at the threshold of a new understanding. You have realized that you are not a drop in the ocean, but the entire ocean in a drop. You have felt the rhythm of the cosmos pulsing in the sanctuary of your own body. You have awakened to the truth that you are a microcosm of the all, an echo of the creative force that breathes stars into being. To know this is wisdom, but to act from this knowing is to become a magician, a conscious artist of reality. We now move from being a passive echo of the universe to becoming a conscious collaborator with it. We learn to use the universal breath not just to sustain us, but to create with us. The prana that fills you, this river of life, is pure, neutral, creative potential. It is like the rich, dark, fertile soil of a garden, capable of growing anything. But the soil does not decide what to grow. It waits for a seed. Your focused intention is that seed. Let us imagine that the universe, the quantum field of infinite possibility, is a great, living, shimmering tapestry, constantly being woven in the loom of the now. The fabric itself is made of pure, unmanifested energy prana. It is a canvas of infinite potential. Your intention is the colored thread you choose to introduce into this tapestry. You can choose the gray, heavy thread of doubt and fear, and weave patterns of lack and limitation. You can choose the fiery red thread of anger and weave patterns of conflict and strife. Or you can choose the radiant, golden thread of love, of health, of abundance, and weave patterns of beauty and grace into your life's design. But the thread, no matter how beautiful, is useless on its own. It needs an instrument to carry it into the great canvas. It needs a needle. Your breath is the sacred needle. It is the tool that takes the thread of your focused intention and skillfully stitches it into the living fabric of the cosmos, creating the experiential patterns of your reality. Without the breath, your intentions are mere wishes, powerless spools of thread sitting unused beside the loom. With the breath, your intentions become a potent, creative force. We will now learn the sacred art of this weaving. This is a practice of immense power, to be undertaken with reverence and clarity. The first step is to choose your thread. This requires absolute clarity of intention. Vague wishes produce vague results. You must know precisely what you wish to experience. And the great secret, taught by all masters of this art, is that you must focus not on the thing itself, but on the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Do not focus on, "I want to be healed." Focus on the feeling of vibrant, radiant health, of moving your body with freedom and joy. Do not focus on, "I want more money." Focus on the feeling of security, of freedom, of ease and generosity that you believe the money will bring. Condense this end state, this feeling of the wish already being a fact, into a short, vivid, sensory scene. A scene that implies the wish is fulfilled. Perhaps it is the feeling of a doctor's hand on your shoulder, saying, "The results are perfect." Perhaps it is the feeling of looking at your bank account and feeling a profound sense of peace and relief. Make the scene short, clear, and saturated with the emotion you desire. This is your golden thread. Now, we pick up the sacred needle. Settle into a state of deep calm. Let your body be still. Take a few deep, cleansing breaths to quiet the mind. When you are ready, you will perform a four-step act of creation. The first step, inhale and gather the power. Take a long, slow, deep breath, and as you do, imagine you are drawing in the very substance of creation, the pure, potent prana from the universe around you. Feel yourself filling up with a tingling, vibrant, golden energy. You are gathering the raw material for your new creation. The second step, and this is the most crucial, at the peak of your inhalation, gently hold the breath. In this sacred pause, this moment of supreme stillness and collected power, you will perform the act of weaving. Immediately bring your chosen scene to mind. Immerse yourself in it completely. Do not see it as a distant movie. See it through your own eyes. Feel it with your own heart. If your scene is one of health, feel the energy coursing through your limbs right now. If it is one of success, feel the pride and joy swelling in your chest right now. You must feel the reality of it so completely that you generate the genuine emotion of the wish fulfilled. This feeling, this emotion, is the alchemical fire that impresses your intention onto the raw prana you have gathered. This is the moment the needle plunges the golden thread into the cosmic tapestry. You are not asking for a future event. You are claiming a present reality on the energetic plane. The third step, exhale and release it with faith. As you begin to exhale, let the scene go completely. Release it. Imagine yourself breathing it out as a shimmering golden cloud of energy, sending it forth from your being into the vastness of the universe. This is not an exhale of effort, but of profound trust. It is the act of planting a seed in fertile soil. You do not dig up the seed every day to see if it is growing. You trust the process. You trust the soil. You trust the laws of nature. In the same way, you must now trust the laws of the universe. You have successfully planted your energetic seed in the womb of creation. Your work in this ritual is done. To worry about it now, to doubt it, is to energetically negate the very work you have just performed. The fourth and final step is to live in the end. The weaving ritual is the beginning, not the conclusion. Your ongoing work is to embody the vibrational state of your wish fulfilled. You must walk, talk, and act as the person who already has what they desire. This does not mean being reckless or foolish. It means that you no longer operate from a state of lack. You operate from a state of knowing. When a thought of doubt arises, you do not fight it. You simply return your awareness to the feeling you cultivated in the sacred pause. Your breath becomes your constant tool for realignment. With every conscious breath, you can choose to re-inhabit the feeling of your fulfilled desire, thus keeping your vibrational broadcast clean and consistent. You are continuously watering the seed you have planted. As you engage in this practice, something remarkable begins to happen. You are not only weaving new circumstances into the outer tapestry of your life, you are simultaneously weaving a new energetic garment for yourself. Every time you perform this sacred act, you are adding another golden thread to your own aura. Over time, these threads coalesce, forming a radiant field of energy around you, a tangible atmosphere of your new reality. This garment, woven from the light of your focused intentions and the power of your sanctified breath, becomes your new vibrational signature. It is a field of palpable energy that surrounds you, announcing your new state of being to the world long before it fully hardens into physical fact. This is your pranic field, your invisible aura of power. Let us now explore the nature of this radiant field that you are so consciously creating around yourself. You have learned to weave the golden thread of your intention into the living tapestry of the universe, using your breath as the sacred needle. As you continue this practice, you are not only creating new patterns in the world around you, you are weaving a luminous garment for your very soul. This garment is not a metaphor. It is a palpable field of energy, an atmosphere of light that you are constantly generating. This is your pranic field, your aura, the invisible halo of power that announces who you are to the world long before you utter a single word. Your existence does not stop at the boundary of your skin. That is merely the shoreline of your physical form. Your being, your influence, your very self extends outward from your body, like the corona of the sun, a radiant sphere of influence that interacts with everything and everyone you encounter. The ancient mystics saw this field with their inner vision. They drew it as halos around the heads of saints and as shimmering cocoons of light around enlightened beings. Today, our own sensitive instruments are just beginning to detect the edges of this bioenergetic reality. But you do not need a special instrument to perceive it. You need only your own refined awareness. The most effective way to understand your pranic field is to think of it as the atmosphere of the planet that is you. The Earth's atmosphere is an invisible field that performs several vital functions. It protects the planet, it communicates its weather patterns, and it nourishes all life. Your pranic field does precisely the same. First, it is your primary shield of protection. A strong, vibrant, and coherent pranic field acts as a spiritual and psychological immune system. Just as the Earth's atmosphere burns up harmful meteors and deflects damaging solar winds, a healthy aura naturally repels and neutralizes the negative or chaotic energies of the world around you. The stray thoughts of fear from a crowd, the resentment of a coworker, the general anxiety in the air, these energies encounter your field and simply slide off, unable to penetrate and affect your inner state. When your field is weak, damaged, or polluted with your own unresolved negativity, it becomes thin and porous. You feel like a psychic sponge, easily drained by others, overly sensitive to your environment, and constantly thrown off balance by external events. To strengthen your aura is to walk through the world in a bubble of your own well-being. Second, your pranic field is your primary mode of communication. Long before you shake someone's hand or speak a word, they have already met your energy field. Your aura is broadcasting the truth of your inner state with perfect fidelity. It is the source of the vibe that people get from you. If your inner state is one of peace and authenticity, your field is clear, bright, and inviting. People feel safe and comfortable around you, often without knowing why. If your inner state is one of conflict, fear, or inauthenticity, your field becomes dense, murky, and chaotic. People may feel a subconscious urge to keep their distance, a sense of unease in your presence. You cannot fake a coherent energy field. It is the ultimate truth teller. It communicates the song your cells are singing, the signal your radio tower is broadcasting for all the universe to read. Third, your pranic field is a source of nourishment. A healthy atmosphere provides the very air that life needs to breathe. A healthy aura constantly feeds your physical, emotional, and mental bodies with high-quality, refined energy. It acts as a reservoir of vitality that you can draw upon, keeping you resilient and vibrant. When the field is depleted, you feel chronically fatigued, uninspired, and dull because you have lost connection to this personal energy source. Learning to tend to your own pranic field is the ultimate act of self-reliance. Let us now make this real. We will move from theory to direct experience. Sit comfortably and close your eyes. Bring your awareness first to the surface of your skin. Feel the subtle sensation of the air touching your body. Now, gently shift your focus to the space just 1 inch beyond your skin, all around your body. Do not try to think about it. Try to feel it. Does this space have a quality, a temperature, a density? Can you sense a subtle tingle, a hum, a pressure? There is no right answer. You are simply extending your antennae of perception into a new dimension of your own being. Now, let your awareness expand further to the space 6 inches around your body, then a foot. You are sitting in the center of your own energy sphere. Now, let us use our hands, which are incredibly sensitive extensions of our energy field. Hold your palms facing each other, about a foot apart. Begin to slowly, very slowly, bring them closer together. Pay exquisite attention to the sensation in the space between them. As they get closer, can you feel a subtle pressure building? A warmth? A tingling? A sensation like two magnets repelling each other? That sensation is real. You are feeling the edges of your own pranic field. Play with it for a moment. Move your hands closer and further apart, feeling this cushion of energy. You are directly experiencing a part of yourself that you were taught to believe did not exist. Now, let us bring the master tool, the breath, into this practice. As you next inhale, imagine you are breathing not just into your lungs, but into this entire sphere of energy around you. Imagine you are drawing pure golden white light from the cosmos into your field, making it brighter, stronger, more vibrant. And as you exhale, imagine the breath originating from your very core and expanding outward, pushing through your energy field in all directions. This out-breath is a cleansing wave. Visualize it pushing any darkness, any density, any stagnant energy, any foreign vibrations out of your field and away from you, where it is neutralized by the universe. Inhale, and your atmosphere becomes brighter. Exhale, and your atmosphere becomes cleaner. You are consciously tending to your own energetic garden. You are fortifying your shield. You are purifying your broadcast. By becoming aware of your pranic field, you are stepping into the role of the conscious gatekeeper of your own reality. No longer are you a passive victim of energetic influences. You are the sovereign of your own sacred space. And the management of this space, the art of being a gatekeeper, hinges on two fundamental and sacred actions, two divine choices that you make with every single cycle of your breath. The first is the sacred yes. This is the choice you make on your inhalation, the conscious decision of what possibilities, what energies, and what truths you will welcome into your being. The second is the sacred number. This is the choice you make on your exhalation, the conscious decision to expel, to deny, and to release any energy or limitation that does not serve your highest good. These two acts, the sacred yes and the sacred no, are the twin pillars of energetic mastery. Let us now explore the power of the first of these, the courageous act of breathing in possibility. You have learned to stand as the conscious gatekeeper of your own energetic space, aware of the luminous pranic field that is your personal atmosphere. We have acknowledged that the management of this sacred space hinges upon two fundamental acts, two pillars of spiritual sovereignty. We now turn our focus to the first of these, an act of profound opening, of radical receptivity. We explore the power of the sacred yes. This is the conscious choice, made on the foundation of your inhalation, to decide what energies, what possibilities, and what truths you will welcome into the temple of your being. To understand its power, we must first be honest about our default state. For most of us, our entire being is calibrated to a subtle, unconscious, and chronic state of number. Consider your physical body. The armor of tension we have worked to dissolve, the tightness in the shoulders, the clenching in the jaw, the shield around the heart. What is this, if not the body saying, no? It is a physical refusal of the world, a muscular defense against perceived threats, a contraction away from life. Consider your mind. How often is it steeped in cynicism, doubt, and criticism? How often does it immediately list all the reasons why something won't work, why you are not good enough, why you should not trust? This is the mind saying number. Consider your heart. How often is it guarded, walled off, afraid to feel too deeply, afraid to love too freely for fear of being hurt again? This is the heart saying number. In this state of contraction, our breath itself becomes a reflection of this refusal. It is shallow, hesitant, and constrained. We are subconsciously afraid to take a full breath because to do so would be to take life in too fully, and we have been taught that life is unsafe. This default no is the root cause of our feelings of separation, lack, and isolation. It is the closed gate that prevents the grace of the universe from flowing freely into our lives. The sacred yes is the conscious, deliberate reversal of this pattern. It is the understanding that the universe is a field of infinite, benevolent possibility that is constantly offering itself to you. The sun does not decide whether you are worthy of its warmth. It simply shines. The air does not judge whether you deserve to breathe. It simply offers itself. In the same way, the universe is constantly offering you peace, abundance, love, and healing. It is not being withheld from you. You, in your conditioned state of no, have simply been refusing the gifts. The sacred yes is the act of learning to open your hands, your heart, your mind, and your very cells to receive what is already being offered. This is not a mental affirmation. It is a profound energetic and physiological shift. It is the movement from contraction to expansion. It is the conscious decision to instruct your nervous system to move from a state of fight or flight into a state of rest, regeneration, and reception. Imagine a dear, cherished friend has come to visit you after a long absence. When you hear their knock, you do not peer through the peephole, crack the door open an inch, and demand to know their business. Number. Your heart leaps. You swing the door wide open, You smile with your entire being. You say, yes, come in, and you embrace them, welcoming them into your home. This is the energy of the sacred yes. You must learn to treat every quality you desire to embody peace, health, luvas, this cherished guest. You must open the door of your being and invite it in with every fiber of your being. And the mechanism for opening that door, the gesture of welcome, is your inhalation. Every in-breath is an opportunity to say yes to life. Let us now engage in the deep practice of this reception. We will use our breath to consciously inhale specific qualities, to welcome these cherished guests into our temple. Settle into a state of receptive stillness. Let your posture be open, your hands resting gently with palms facing up, a physical gesture of willingness to receive. Our first guest is peace. The world is noisy, the mind is chaotic, but peace is always available, an undercurrent of silence beneath all the sound. Bring to mind the feeling of true peace, the stillness of a deep forest, the silence of a snow-covered landscape, the calm surface of a mountain lake at dawn. This is the frequency of peace. Now, on your next inhalation, you will consciously say yes to it. As you breathe in slowly and deeply, imagine you are inhaling this cool, tranquil, sapphire blue light. This is the very substance of peace. Feel it entering your nostrils, flowing into your mind, clearing away the clouds of anxious thought. With every inhale, you silently say the word yes, and you feel this tranquil blue light expanding, filling your entire skull, quieting the inner chatter. Breathe in. Yes. And feel the peace flowing down into your throat, your shoulders, releasing the tension of strife. Inhale. Yes, and feel it entering your heart, soothing the agitation, calming the turbulent emotions. Feel this peace permeate every cell, each one sighing in relief as it receives this long-awaited guest. You are not chasing peace. You are opening the door and letting it in. Yes. Our next cherished guest is vibrant, radiant health. For too long, you may have focused on fighting disease, a posture of number. Today, we say yes to the innate, intelligent, healing life force that is your birthright. Bring to mind the feeling of perfect health, the energy, the vitality, the freedom of movement, the effortless functioning of a body in harmony. This is the frequency of health. Now, as you inhale, say yes to it. Imagine you are breathing in a vibrant, chlorophyll-rich, emerald green light. This is the energy of life itself, the prana of regeneration. Feel this healing green light entering your lungs, and from there, being carried by your bloodstream to every single part of your body. Inhale. Yes, and visualize this light flowing to any area that has been in dis-ease, bathing those cells in its restorative power. Speak to them with this breath. Yes, you may be whole. Yes, you may return to your perfect blueprint. Yes, you are healed. Feel your entire body humming with this vibrant, life-affirming energy. You are not begging for health. You are welcoming it home. Yes. Now, let us invite a guest that many have kept waiting at the door for a lifetime. Abundance and worthiness. The feeling of lack, of not enough, is the ultimate number. It is the belief that the universe is stingy and that you are undeserving. We will reverse this lie now. Abundance is not a number in a bank account. It is the feeling of being utterly and completely provided for, the deep inner knowing of your own infinite worth. This is the frequency of abundance. As you next inhale, you will say a profound yes to your own deservingness. Imagine you are breathing in a rich, warm, liquid gold light, the color of honey and sunlight. This is the energy of enough. Feel it pouring into you, filling up all the empty, hollow places within you that have echoed with the lie of scarcity. Inhale. Yes. And feel this golden light dissolving the belief that you must struggle and strive for your worth. Feel it melting the guilt that prevents you from receiving. With every in-breath, you affirm your birthright as a child of a magnificent, abundant universe. You are worthy of all good things, simply because you exist. Breathe in this truth. Yes. Finally, let us open the door to the most powerful frequency of all, the very fabric of the cosmos, love. We often say no to love because we fear its vulnerability. We guard our hearts. Today, we have the courage to say yes. And we are not speaking only of romantic love, but of the universal energy of connection, of compassion, of belonging. Bring to mind the feeling of being completely and unconditionally loved and accepted, either by a person, a pet, or the universe itself. The warmth, the safety, the expansion in your chest. This is the frequency of love. On your next inhalation, open the doors of your heart and say yes. Imagine you are breathing in a soft, warm, rose-pink light directly into your heart center. Feel your chest softening, expanding, the walls around your heart dissolving. Feel this loving energy flood your entire being, reminding you that you are not separate, you are not alone. Inhale yes, and allow yourself to receive the love that is constantly being offered to you by all of life. Inhale yes, and feel your capacity to give love expand in equal measure. For to truly receive love is to become a fountain of it. Yes. This practice of the sacred yes is the physics of reception. When you consciously and feelingly inhale the frequency of equality, you are tuning your entire pranic field, your entire vibrational signature, to become a match for that quality. You are recalibrating your being. You cease to be a radio tower broadcasting the static of no, and you begin to broadcast a clear, powerful signal of yes to peace, yes to health, yes to abundance, yes to love. And by the immutable law of resonance, the universe must answer. The mirror must reflect the new image you are presenting. You begin to attract experiences and people that are in harmony with your new frequency, not because you are manipulating the world, but because you have changed yourself, and the world is now showing you your new reflection. Your inhalation is a choice. It is the most fundamental choice you make hundreds of times every hour. With each breath, you are either unconsciously inhaling the old, familiar atmosphere of limitation and fear, or you are consciously choosing to inhale a new reality. You are giving yourselves the blueprint for the temple you wish to build. The power of the open gate, the sacred yes of the inhalation, is the power to receive the infinite gifts of creation. But a temple with its gates thrown wide open and no walls, a garden with no fence, cannot remain sacred for long. It must be protected from that which would harm it. The power to receive must be balanced by the power to refuse. And so, we must now turn to the equally vital, equally courageous twin of this practice. The fierce, loving, and definitive power of the sacred number. You have learned to open the gates of your being with the sacred yes, welcoming the benevolent energies of the universe into your temple. You have felt the expansive joy of breathing in possibility, of aligning your very cells with the frequencies of peace, health, and love. This is the power of reception, and it is magnificent. But a temple whose gates are always open, with no guard and no discernment, will soon be overrun. A garden with no fence will be trampled. The art of receiving must be balanced by the art of refusing. The power to say yes is only made potent and sustainable by the equal and opposite power to say number. We must now turn our attention to this fierce and loving act of purification. We must learn to wield the sword of the exhale, the definitive and sovereign power of the sacred number. For too long, we have allowed our sacred inner space to become polluted. We have been taught that it is virtuous to be endlessly accommodating, that it is polite to never cause a ripple, that it is good to always say yes. And so, we have allowed the energetic mud of the world to be tracked into our holy places. We carry within us the limiting beliefs we inherited from our family and our culture. The insidious whisper of "I am not worthy" has set up a permanent residence in our heart. The cold, gripping energy of other people's anxiety has taken root in our solar plexus. The sticky residue of past resentments clutters the hallways of our mind. We have allowed these energetic squatters to live in our temple for so long that we have forgotten that we are the landlord, and we have the absolute right to evict them. The sacred no is the eviction notice. It is the long overdue act of spiritual house cleaning. It is crucial to understand that the sacred no is not an act of aggression or negativity. It is an act of supreme self-love. The ego's no is reactive. It shouts, it argues, it resists, and in doing so, it feeds the conflict with energy. The sacred no is different. It is calm, it is centered, it is definitive. It is the quiet, unshakable power of a mountain that by its very nature refuses to be moved. It is the fierce, loving energy of a mother lion drawing a line in the sand to protect her cubs. It does not hate the threat. It simply loves what it is protecting more. You are what you are protecting. The sacred no is the drawing of a holy boundary around your own being, declaring with divine authority, "This far and no further. My inner peace is not negotiable. My well-being is not up for debate. This temple is sacred ground." And the mechanism for this powerful declaration is your exhale. While the inhale is an act of reception and expansion, the exhale is the body's natural biological process of purification and release. It is the vehicle for detoxification, for expelling that which is no longer needed, be it carbon dioxide or a toxic belief system. When you make your exhale conscious, forceful, and intentional, you turn it into a powerful spiritual tool. It becomes a gust of wind that can blow the dead leaves of old habits out of your temple. It becomes a wave of energy that scours the inner walls clean. It is the power to define your space by what you choose to expel from it. Let us now step into this practice of sacred purification. Let your body be a pillar of strength. We will identify the most common energetic squatters that inhabit the human temple, and we will, one by one, evict them with the loving power of our sacred number. First, we will confront the great phantom, the lie that underlies so much suffering, the belief I am not worthy. This dense, heavy, gray energy often resides deep in the gut, or as a weight on the heart. Take a moment to locate it within your own being. Feel its texture, its signature of contraction and shame. Do not fear it. You are simply identifying it before you show it the door. Now, take a deep, clarifying breath in, gathering your power and your authority. Then, with a forceful, audible exhalation through your mouth, a ha sound from deep in your belly, you are going to expel it. As you exhale, visualize this dense, gray energy of unworthiness being pushed out of your body by this powerful wave of breath. See it being ejected from your pranic field, dissolving into nothingness. On the outbreath, your silent, firm declaration is number, breathe in strength. Exhale, number, you have no place here. I am worthy of all good things. Repeat this several times. Inhale your power, exhale number, feel the space, the lightness that begins to emerge where that heavy energy once resided. Next, we turn to the cold, clinging energy of fear. It may be a specific fear about your future, or a general free-floating anxiety. Locate it. Often it lives in the stomach, the throat, or as a band of ice around the chest. Feel its contracting, paralyzing quality. It whispers lies about your weakness and the power of what you fear. We will now call its bluff. Take a deep, courageous breath in, breathing directly into the heart of the fear, acknowledging its presence without bowing to it. Then, with a sharp, cutting exhalation, push it out. Visualize yourself expelling this cold, dark energy from your body with force. See it shattering like brittle ice against the strength of your breath. Your inner declaration is firm. Number, you do not control me. You are an illusion. I am safe and I am powerful. Inhale courage. Exhale number. With each forceful exhale, you are reclaiming the territory in your nervous system that fear had colonized. You are asserting your mastery over your own inner state, number. Now we address one of the most common forms of pollution in our temple, the energy of other people. As sensitive beings, we often absorb the moods, the judgments, the anxieties, and the unspoken demands of those around us. Our pranic field becomes cluttered with energy that is not our own. Close your eyes and scan your aura, the space around your body. Can you sense any sticky foreign energies? Any cords of attachment or expectation? Any feelings that you know deep down do not belong to you? We will now perform a profound energetic cleansing. Take a deep breath in, drawing your own energy back to your core, consolidating your power. Then, with a great, sweeping exhalation, visualize a powerful wind blowing from your center outward in all directions. See this wind blowing through your entire pranic field, forcefully but lovingly ejecting any and all energy that is not yours. Your silent declaration is clear. Number. This is not mine to carry. I return this to its sender with consciousness. My space is my own. Inhale your sovereignty. Exhale, and with AHA, sweep your field clean. Feel the immediate lightness and clarity that comes from occupying a space that contains only you. Number. Finally, we confront the subtle saboteur, the heavy, sticky energy of procrastination and self-doubt that keeps us from our own greatness. This is the energy of I can't, I'll do it tomorrow. What if I fail? It feels heavy, like walking through mud. Locate this sticky, stagnant energy within you. Take a deep breath in, feeling the spark of your true, unlimited potential. Then, with a sharp, definitive exhalation, you will cut through this mud. Visualize the breath as a sword of light, severing the energetic cords of procrastination and self-sabotage. Expel this heavy, stagnant energy from your being. Your declaration is a call to action. Number. I will no longer hold myself back. I will no longer play small. I now claim my power to create and to act. Inhale your divine purpose. Exhale number. You are clearing the runway for your own magnificent takeoff. Number. This is the sacred number. It is the fierce grace that purifies your temple. It is the conscious act of taking out the trash so that your inner home can be a beautiful, clear, and holy space. It is you, as the sovereign of your own being, declaring what is and what is not permissible within your reality. This act is not negative. It is the necessary prerequisite for authentic positivity. You cannot fill a cup with pure water until you have first emptied the murky water that was in it. You cannot live in a state of authentic yes to life until you have had the courage to say no to all that is not life-affirming. As you practice this, as you cleanse your inner and outer fields with the definitive power of your exhale, you will notice a profound shift. The inner noise quiets down, the confusion lifts. What is left is a clean, resonant, sacred space, a stillness, an emptiness. You have now learned to open the gates to welcome the divine with the sacred yes. And you have learned to guard those gates and sweep the temple clean with the sacred number. You have cleared the sacred ground. The weeds are gone. The soil is pure. You now stand in this profound and powerful stillness, a sacred void. Many people fear this emptiness, believing it to be a nothingness. But the mystic knows this is the greatest treasure. This void is not empty. It is the womb of God, the plenum of all possibility. It has an intelligence all its own. Let us now turn our attention to this fertile darkness, to the profound intelligence of the void. You have walked the path of the sacred gatekeeper. With the expansive power of the sacred yes, you have opened the doors of your temple to welcome the divine frequencies of peace, health, and love. With the fierce loving power of the sacred no, you have swept the halls clean, expelling the old ghosts of limitation and fear. And now, after the receiving and the releasing, after the welcoming and the cleansing, what remains? You now stand in a space of profound and pristine stillness, a quiet, luminous emptiness. You stand in the sacred void. In our world, a world addicted to noise, to information, to constant stimulation and ceaseless activity. This state of emptiness is often feared. We equate the void with nothingness, with loneliness, with a lack of meaning. When silence descends, we rush to fill it with sound. When our minds go blank, we panic and grasp for a thought. We have been taught that our value lies in our doing, our thinking, our producing. But the greatest sages and mystics throughout history have taught the opposite. They have taught that this sacred void, this great silence, this state of no mind, is not an absence of something. It is the presence of everything. It is not a state of lack. It is the very source of all creation, the womb from which all true insight, all genius, and all miracles are born. To understand this, imagine your mind as a glass of water, and your thoughts, feelings, and memories are fine particles of mud and silt at the bottom. As you go through your day, your constant mental activity, your worrying, analyzing, planning, and judging is like continuously shaking and stirring this glass. The mud is churned up, and the water becomes cloudy, murky, and opaque. In this state, you cannot see clearly. You feel confused, overwhelmed, and disconnected from your own inner wisdom. Our typical response to this state of confusion is to stir the water even more frantically. We try to think our way to clarity. We seek more information, we read another book, we ask for more opinions, we replay the problem over and over again. All this activity only keeps the mud suspended in the water, ensuring our continued lack of clarity. The masters of inner alchemy teach a radically different approach. They teach that the only way to find the clarity you seek is to do nothing at all. Simply set the glass down, let it be still. Stop the endless stirring. When you cease your mental striving, when you allow your mind to rest in the quiet stillness of the void, a natural miracle occurs. The mud, the silt, the heavy particles of your conditioned thinking, having nothing to keep them agitated, begin to slowly, gently, settle at the bottom. The water does not have to try to become clear. The water was never muddy in the first place. Its fundamental nature is, and always has been, pristine clarity. That clarity was simply obscured by the agitated mud. In the same way, your true consciousness, your deeper self, is not confused or broken. It is eternally clear, wise, and peaceful. Its nature is clarity itself. All you have to do to experience it is to stop stirring the mud of your mind and allow your own innate clarity to reveal itself. The sacred void is the state of this revealed clarity. This is why all true creativity emerges, not from effort, but from stillness. The brilliant scientist does not find the solution to a complex problem by forcing their mind, but often in a moment of repose in the shower, on a walk, or upon waking. The solution appears, as if from nowhere, in a flash of insight. The great artist does not plan every brushstroke, but enters a state of flow, a no-mind state, where they become a channel for a creative intelligence far greater than their own. The most profound music is not just the notes, but the silent spaces between them that give them shape and meaning. The womb must be an empty space for a new life to gestate within it. Creation does not happen in a space that is already full of noise and clutter. It happens in the fertile emptiness of the void. This void, this stillness, is not a state of non-existence. It is the state of pure potential, the quantum field. It is the unmanifest realm where all possibilities vary, possible future, every possible solution, every possible timeline exists simultaneously as subtle vibrations. Your logical, thinking mind, the part of you that stirs the mud, can only process one thought, one possibility at a time. It operates in a linear fashion, but your deeper consciousness, when resting in the silent void, is not linear. It has access to the whole field. This is the source of what we call intuition. Intuition is the ability to know something directly, without the intermediate step of logical reasoning. It is the whisper of the void. It is your deeper self accessing the field of infinite potential and perceiving the most harmonious path forward. You cannot hear this whisper when your mind is screaming. You can only hear it when you have the courage to become silent. Let us now practice resting in this creative emptiness. The most accessible gateway to the void is the one we have visited before, but now we approach it with this new, deeper understanding. It is the sacred pause at the bottom of the exhale. Settle your body and your mind. Take a few deep, cleansing breaths. Now, allow your attention to rest at the very end of your next exhalation. After all the air has been released, simply rest in that moment of stillness before the next breath arises. Do not hold your breath. Do not create tension. Simply be present with the emptiness. Become comfortable here. This is your personal, portable doorway into the void. Now, if there is a problem you have been struggling with, a question for which you have no answer, try this practice. Bring the question or the problem to the forefront of your mind. Feel it fully, and then, as you breathe out, release it. Offer it up to the silence. Let it go into the void. And then, crucially, you must let it be. Do not chase after it with your mind, trying to figure it out. Your job is simply to rest in the stillness, to trust the intelligence of the void to handle it. You have released your question into the great supercomputer of the cosmos. The answer will come, not when your mind demands it, but when the time is right. It may come as a sudden insight later today, a dream tonight, or a chance encounter tomorrow. You must trust the process. You must learn to value the state of not knowing, for it is the prerequisite for all true knowing to emerge. This intelligent, creative void, this silent womb of all possibility, is not a lawless chaos. It operates with a perfect, harmonious, and impersonal logic. It is governed by a universal law of cause and effect, of action and reflection. The seeds of intention that you have planted, the vibrational signatures you have broadcast, they all register within this field. The quality of the harvest that grows for you out of this fertile emptiness is determined precisely by the quality of the seeds you have planted. This great law has been given a name that is often misunderstood, feared, and viewed as a system of cosmic punishment. That name is karma. Let us now turn our gaze upon this great law and see it not as a system of reward and punishment, but as the sacred, energetic memory of the universe itself. We have arrived in the sacred void, the silent, fertile emptiness from which all things are born. We have learned that this is the space of pure potential, the womb of creation. But this creative field is not a chaos. It operates according to a perfect and immutable law. Every intention we have woven, every frequency we have broadcast, leaves an indelible impression within this field. This great, universal law of energetic cause and effect has been given a name that has, for centuries, inspired more fear than liberation. That name is karma. We have been taught to think of karma as a form of cosmic accounting, managed by a judgmental God who keeps a celestial ledger of our rights and wrongs. We see it as a system of reward and punishment, where our bad deeds from this life, or even from lives we cannot remember, will inevitably return to punish us. This view has turned a beautiful, impersonal law of physics into a source of profound guilt, fear, and a sense of helpless victimhood. It is time to let go of this primitive projection. It is time to understand karma for what it truly is. Karma is not punishment. Karma is memory. It is the universe's perfect, non-judgmental, and infallible memory of energy. It is the simple and elegant law of physics that states every action must have an equal and opposite reaction, applied to the realm of consciousness. Every thought you think, every word you speak, every action you take emits a specific vibrational frequency into the universe. That energy does not just vanish, it imprints itself upon your own pranic field, and it ripples out into the great quantum field of the cosmos, creating an energetic memory. The law of resonance, the principle of like attracts like, then dictates that this energetic memory will, at some point, attract to itself experiences and circumstances of a precisely similar frequency. The universe is not trying to punish you. It is simply a perfect mirror, reflecting back to you the energy you have created so you can see it, experience it, learn from it, and be given the opportunity to choose again. A karmic pattern is not a life sentence. It is a cosmic invitation to evolve. It is the universe lovingly asking, here is the energy you put into motion. Are you finished with it yet? Or do you wish to create it again? Perhaps the most effective way to understand this is through a metaphor. Imagine that your soul, your energetic essence, is like a pristine, smooth vinyl record. When you first come into being, the surface is perfect, capable of playing any music. As you move through life, every time you have a powerful, unresolved emotional experience or engage in a deeply ingrained habitual pattern, you are cutting a groove into this record. Every time you have the thought, I am not loved, and feel the corresponding pain, the groove gets a little deeper. Every time you experience betrayal and react with bitter resentment, the groove gets deeper. Every time you act from a place of deep scarcity and fear, the groove gets deeper. Over many years, or even many lifetimes, you can carve some very deep and familiar grooves into the record of your being. Now, imagine the present moment. The eternal now is the needle on the record player. As the needle of the now moves across the spinning record of your soul, it glides smoothly over the clear, ungrooved parts. But when it encounters one of those deep, familiar karmic grooves, it inevitably falls into it. And once the needle is in the groove, it has no choice but to play the song that is recorded there. And so, the old painful music begins again. You find yourself in another relationship where you feel unloved. You encounter another situation where you feel betrayed. You experience another financial crisis that triggers your deep feelings of lack. This is why our lives can feel so repetitive, so cyclical. We feel we are cursed, or that we are just unlucky. We are neither. The needle of our life just keeps falling into the same karmic grooves we ourselves have carved, playing the same sad song over and over again. Our typical reaction is to get angry at the song, to lament the music, to curse the record player. But none of this does anything to change the groove itself. The work of spiritual liberation, then, is not to fight the song, but to heal the groove. How do we do this? We do not do it by resisting the experience when it arises. Resistance only deepens the groove. Instead, we apply a new, higher frequency of energy directly to the groove as it is being played. This is the alchemy. The next time you find yourself in a situation and that old, familiar, painful song begins to play the song of your core karmic pattern, your first task is to practice conscious recognition. Instead of immediately getting lost in the drama, you pause, you breathe, and you say to yourself, I recognize this music. The needle has fallen into the groove of, I am not worthy. This act of pure recognition is profoundly powerful. It separates you, the conscious listener, from the song itself. Once you have recognized the song, your next task is to refuse to sing along. You refuse to get lost in the story, the blame, the victimhood. Instead, you bring all the tools we have been cultivating directly to the source. You locate the feeling of that karmic pattern as a sensation in your body, and you begin to breathe into it. You flood that old painful groove with the high-frequency energy of your conscious, loving presence. You apply the gentle, healing warmth of your awareness to the contracted, frozen energy of the pattern. You are not fighting it. You are loving it. You are bathing it in a frequency it has never known. It is like applying a gentle, consistent heat to the vinyl. The heat softens the material, and the deep, sharp groove begins to lose its definition. It becomes smoother, shallower. And as you continue this practice, every time the song begins to play, the groove becomes fainter and fainter. From this place of centered, non-reactive presence, you are then free to choose a new action. Instead of lashing out in anger as you usually would, you choose to set a calm, firm boundary. Instead of withdrawing into fear, you choose to take one small, courageous step forward. This new, conscious action begins to carve a new, faint, shallow groove on the recorda groove of self-respect, a groove of courage. Over time, as you starve the old groove of your reactive energy and consistently feed the new groove with your conscious choices, the new pathway becomes the dominant one. The needle of the now begins to glide into the new groove more naturally, and a new song begins to play in your life, a song of peace, of love, of freedom. This is how you consciously and deliberately change your karma. This is how you step off the wheel of repetitive suffering. It is not by trying to be a good person out of fear of future punishment. It is by taking radical responsibility for your own energetic state in this present moment. It is the courageous work of meeting your own echoes with love and consciously choosing to create a new sound. You are literally remastering the record of your soul. You are smoothing out the dissonant scratches and painful skips, allowing the true, beautiful music of your being to finally be heard. As you become more adept at this practice, a final, profound question may arise. We have been speaking of my karma, my energetic record, my song, but who is this I that has this karma? Who is this self that is working so hard to heal its patterns? The ultimate liberation, the final step in this journey of freedom, comes when you realize the truth. You are not the record, with its grooves of pleasure and pain. You are not the song, with its beautiful melodies and its sad refrains. You are not even the needle of the now, moving across the surface. You are the silent, conscious, loving space in which the entire drama of the record player, the record, the needle, and the song appears, is witnessed and dissolves. To move from being the one with the karma to the one who is aware of the karma is the final leap. This is the journey from identifying as the breather to realizing that you are the breath itself. We have walked a long and winding path into the center of your own being. We have cleansed the temple, calmed the mind, and learned to consciously weave the fabric of our reality. We have even faced the great law of karma, not as a system of punishment, but as the universe's perfect memory, learning to smooth the old, painful grooves on the record of our soul. And through all of this, one silent assumption has remained, the assumption of, I am breathing, I am healing, I am weaving, my karma, my body, my life. We now arrive at the final doorway of this inner journey, and on this door is inscribed the ultimate question, who truly is this I? For all our work has been centered on the one who breathes, the one who strives, the one who meditates. Let us call this entity the breather. But what if the ultimate freedom lies not in becoming a more skillful breather, but in realizing that you are, and always have been, the breath itself? This sense of being a separate I, a little person living inside your head, somewhere behind your eyes, is the most fundamental illusion of all. It is the primary source of all loneliness and fear. This I feels itself to be a fragile, isolated entity, separate from the world, separate from others, and separate from the great flow of life. It is this I that feels the need to control, to defend, to accumulate, because it believes it is alone and vulnerable. It is the breather, anxiously managing its supply of air, terrified of the final exhalation. But where is it? I invite you now to look for it. With your inner awareness, search your entire being for this I, this central commander, this thinker of your thoughts. Is it in your brain? If so, where? In the front? In the back? Can you pinpoint its location? Scan your whole body? Can you find a single point, a headquarters from which this I is issuing its commands? You will not find it, because it does not exist as a solid entity. The I you have taken yourself to be is a phantom. It is a bundle of recurring thoughts, conditioned memories, learned behaviors, and physical sensations, all stitched together by the mind and given a single, convenient label, me. It is a ghost built from the ghosts of yesterday. It has no core, no substance, no independent reality. It is a temporary pattern of energy, a ripple on the surface of a great ocean, a story that the universe is telling itself for a little while. To be identified with this I is to believe you are the ripple, forgetting that your true nature is the entire, boundless ocean. The spiritual journey does not culminate in the perfection of the ripple, but in the remembrance of the ocean. Let us return to the river. For your whole life, you have felt like a small, anxious person alone in a tiny boat, trying desperately to steer a course down the powerful river of life. You grip the oars, you fight the currents, you curse the rapids, you strain to see what lies around the next bend. This is the life of the breather, the ego, the separate self. It is a life of immense effort and constant fear. The practices we have engaged in so far have taught you how to become a more skillful boatman. You have learned to patch the leaks in your boat, to read the currents, and to navigate with more grace. But now, you are invited to take the final, liberating step. The invitation is to let go of the oars, to lie back in the boat and trust its natural drift. And then, with supreme courage, the invitation is to abandon the boat altogether, to slip over the side and merge with the water, to disappear into the river itself. This is the great merging, and the breath is your guide. Settle into the deepest state of stillness you can access. Let your awareness rest on the rhythm of life flowing in and out of you. Now, we will gently dissolve the boundary. On your next inhalation, instead of feeling I am breathing in, shift your perception to life is breathing itself into me. Feel yourself as a passive vessel being filled by a universal energy. And on your next exhalation, instead of feeling I am breathing out, shift your perception to I am dissolving into life. Feel your sense of a separate self becoming porous, melting and flowing out with the breath, merging with the space around you. Let us continue this. Inhale. The universe enters. Exhale. The self dissolves. In. Life. Out. I. In. The ocean. Out. The wave. Gently, gently let go of the sense of being the one who is doing the breathing. Notice that breathing is simply happening. It has been happening your entire life without your conscious effort. A great, intelligent, universal rhythm is at play, and your body is merely the instrument through which it plays its song. Who is breathing you right now? Can you find the breather? Or is there only breathing? A silent, effortless, miraculous process. As you release the identity of the breather, you become the breath. You are no longer the boatman. You are the river. You are no longer the one meditating. You are the meditation. You are no longer the one experiencing life. You are life itself, experiencing itself. And what remains when the illusion of the separate I, the anxious breather, dissolves? It is not a cold, empty nothingness. What is revealed is a state of profound, unshakable peace and a silent, vibrant joy. What remains is pure, boundless, loving awareness. This awareness is your true nature. It is the sky that has been here all along, patiently witnessing the clouds of your personal story drift by. This awareness is not yours. It is the same awareness that is looking out through my eyes and through the eyes of every sentient being in the cosmos. It is the consciousness of the universe, and it is what you fundamentally are. In this state of unified consciousness, the entire framework of personal problems dissolves. There is no karma to be healed, because the I who believed it had karma has been seen through as a story. There is no wound to be mended, because the self that felt wounded was a phantom. There is only the ceaseless, graceful, and intelligent play of energy, witnessed by a presence that is eternal, whole, and free. This is the pinnacle of the inner journey. It is the great release, the ultimate surrender. But you are still here, in this form, reading these words. The experience of unity does not mean you cease to function in the world. The goal is not to permanently destroy the ego, the sense of I. The ego is a necessary and useful tool for navigating this three-dimensional reality. The boat is necessary to travel down the river. The difference is that you are no longer exclusively identified with it. You no longer believe you are the boatman. You now know that you are the river, pretending to be a boatman for the sheer joy and adventure of the journey. You can now pick up the oars again, but this time with a lightness, a sense of play. You can engage with the world, with your relationships, with your work, but you do it from a place of deep inner peace, knowing that your true self is not on the line, that it cannot be harmed, that it is as vast and as free as the universe itself. You have touched the boundless truth of your being. You have realized that you are the breath of life itself. But the final question of the journey remains. It is not, who am I? For you have now glimpsed the answer. The final question is, how do I now live from this knowing? How do you take this profound mountaintop experience of unity and carry it down into the marketplace of your daily life? How do you wash the dishes, drive to work, and speak with your loved ones in a way that is infused with this sacred awareness? How do you transform every mundane action into a holy expression of the divine? This is the final art we must learn, the art of living as a prayer in motion. You have stood on the summit of your own being. You have leapt from the small boat of the separate self and felt the glorious, terrifying, and liberating experience of merging with the great river of life. You have known, not as a concept, but as a living reality, that you are not the breather, but the breath itself, the consciousness of the universe, timeless and whole. But the nature of this human journey is that we cannot remain on the mountaintop forever. We must descend. We must return to the marketplace, to the world of form, of relationships, of responsibilities. And so we arrive at the final, most crucial stage of the path, integration. For a profound spiritual experience that is not woven into the fabric of your daily life remains little more than a beautiful memory, a souvenir from a distant land. The true test of awakening is not how peaceful you can be on a meditation cushion in a silent room, but how much of that peace you can bring to a traffic jam, a difficult conversation, or a sink full of dirty dishes. The goal of this journey was never to escape the world, but to fall so deeply in love with reality that the sacred is revealed in every corner of it. The ultimate realization is that there is no difference between the monastery and the marketplace. There is no separation between the sacred and the mundane. There is only the quality of your awareness. You can live your life as a frantic, unconscious rush, or you can transform it into a living prayer, a moving meditation. The choice is yours in every moment. And the tool for this transformation, the golden thread that weaves the timelessness of your true nature into the fabric of time, is the same tool that brought you here, your own conscious breath. We must release the idea that spiritual practice is something we do for 20 minutes in the morning and then forget for the rest of the day. Formal meditation is the training ground. Daily life is the main event. It is like an athlete who lifts weights in the gym. The purpose of that training is not to become good at lifting weights, but to be strong and resilient on the playing field. Your daily meditation practice is where you strengthen your muscle of awareness. But the purpose is to use that muscle in the midst of your life. You do not need to set aside an hour. You can practice in micro doses of presence that take no extra time at all. A single conscious breath, taken while waiting for an elevator, is a complete and perfect meditation. A single moment of feeling the life in your hands as you grip a steering wheel is an act of profound embodiment. The invitation is to stop seeking sacred moments and to start making every moment sacred. Let us explore how to do this. Let us take the most ordinary of human activities and see how they can become portals to the divine. Consider the act of walking. Whether you are walking to your car, through a grocery store, or down a hallway at work, you can transform it into a sacred pilgrimage. Instead of being lost in the thoughts in your head, bring your attention down into your feet. Feel the solid, reliable presence of the earth beneath you. Feel the subtle sensations as your foot makes contact with the ground, bears your weight, and then releases. Try syncing your breath to your steps. Perhaps you inhale for 3 steps, and you exhale for 3 steps. With every footfall, you are touching the sacred body of the planet. With every breath, you are connecting your inner rhythm with your outer movement. In these moments, you are no longer just a person going somewhere. You are the Earth's consciousness walking upon itself. You are a prayer in motion. Consider the act of eating. So often we eat unconsciously, while watching a screen or lost in thought, barely tasting our food. We can transform this simple act into an act of profound communion. Before you take your first bite, take one conscious breath. Look at the food on your plate. Truly see it. See the colors, the textures. Take a moment to acknowledge all that it took for this meal to reach you. The sun, the rain, the soil, the plants and animals, the labor of the farmers, the truck drivers, the grocers. Then, as you take a bite, do so with your full attention. Close your eyes if you can. Taste it. Feel its texture. Let it be a sensory explosion in the present moment. In doing so, a mundane meal becomes a sacrament, an act of gratitude and connection to the entire web of life that sustains you. Consider the act of listening. In our conversations, we are often not truly listening. We are busy formulating our reply, waiting for our turn to speak, judging what the other person is saying. This is not connection. It is a series of competing monologues. You can transform any conversation into an act of deep presence. As the other person speaks, bring a portion of your awareness to your own breath, flowing quietly in the background. Let it be your anchor. This anchor prevents you from getting swept away by your own mental reactions. Now, you can truly listen. Listen not just to their words, but to the silence between their words. Listen to the emotion behind their voice. Listen to what they are not saying. You offer them the greatest gift one human being can give another, the gift of your total, undivided, non-judgmental presence. In that sacred space, true communication and healing can occur. Even the most mundane chores can become a gateway. When you are washing the dishes, feel the warmth of the water on your hands. See the iridescent beauty of the soap bubbles. Hear the sound of the water. Feel your feet on the floor, your breath in your body. In that moment, there is no past, no future, no problem to be solved. There is only the simple, profound reality of warm water and clean plates. By bringing your full, loving attention to the humblest of tasks, you sanctify it. You realize that enlightenment is not found in some extraordinary future event, but in your ability to be fully present with the extraordinary beauty of the ordinary. You will forget. This is a promise. 1,000 times a day, the kite of your mind will be swept up by a gust of thought, and you will become lost in the clouds of past and future. You will find yourself unconsciously reacting, tensing up, falling back into old patterns. It is essential that you understand this is not a failure. It is simply part of the dance. The practice is not about achieving a state of perfect, unbroken presence. That is an impossible goal for a human being. The true practice, the heart of the path, is in the gentle, compassionate, and non-judgmental act of returning. The moment you realize, I have been lost in thought, that very moment of realization is a flash of perfect enlightenment. In that moment, you are awake. And then you simply, gently, without any self-recrimination, guide your awareness back to your anchor, back to your breath. The path is not a straight line to the summit. It is a spiral, a dance of getting lost and coming home, over and over again. By weaving these countless small moments of presence into the warp and woof of your days, the entire fabric of your life begins to change. Its texture becomes richer, more vibrant. Your life is no longer about what you can achieve or acquire, but about the quality of consciousness you bring to each moment. You yourself become the prayer. Your calm presence becomes a healing balm for those around you. Your centeredness becomes a silent source of strength in a chaotic world. You are no longer trying to get something from life. You have become an offering to life. And so the great journey inward returns you, finally, to the simple world you once sought to escape, but you see it now with new eyes. You realize the grandest cosmic truths are hidden in the most humble of places. The journey is complete, yet it is always just beginning, with the next simple, sacred breath. And so, we return to where we began, to the simple, humble, and miraculous act of the breath. We began this journey as a seeker, perhaps feeling lost, fragmented, or overwhelmed. We saw our breath as mere air, our body as a flawed machine, our mind as an enemy, and our life as a series of problems to be solved. We have journeyed through the deepest landscapes of our own being, and we have returned transformed. You have learned to feel the ocean of prana in your lungs, to find the stillness between two worlds, to honor your body as a sacred temple. You have learned to melt the armor of tension, to observe the clouds of your mind from the vastness of the sky, and to starve the ghosts of your past by feasting on the present moment. You have learned to wield the sacred yes and the sacred no, to weave your reality with intention, and to feel the echo of the cosmos in your own heartbeat. You have stood at the final summit and realized that you are not the one who breathes, but the breath of life itself, eternal and unbounded. This entire journey, with all its intricate paths, leads back to one profound and simple truth. Your breath is the golden thread that connects your finite, human form to your infinite, timeless soul. It is the living bridge between spirit and matter, between the seen and the unseen. The inhale is the great, loving descent of your spirit into your body, the choice to be here, now, in this beautiful form. The exhale is the great, trusting surrender of your form back into the boundless embrace of spirit. This constant, rhythmic exchange is the very pulse of your divinity. It is the pen the universe uses to write the symphony of life, and the manuscript is your own beating heart. To be aware of your breath is to be aware of God, playing the music of your being. Carry this simple truth with you as you return to the world. Let it be the silent anchor in moments of chaos, the gentle comfort in moments of sorrow, and the quiet joy in moments of beauty. There is nothing complex you need to remember. There are no difficult rituals you must perform. The entire practice is contained in the rhythm you will carry with you until your final moment. When you feel lost, come back to it. When you feel afraid, come back to it. When you feel overjoyed, come back to it. Let it be your guide, your guru, your most intimate friend. Let this simple prayer be the music that plays behind all that you do. I am breathing in life. I am breathing out peace. The universe breathes with me. There is nothing more to learn, nothing more to do. You have already arrived. You are already whole. Simply be. And breathe. Peace be with you. And now, rest in the silence that you are.